OxyContin.
The Sackers are not offering to pay anything near what they should for the harm and devastation caused to families and communities around this country.
A senior at Asheboro High in North Carolina was denied a diploma for wearing a Mexican flag over his graduation gown. Video shows Iver Lopez trying to take it off. He couldn't and walked up onto the stage anyway. Lopez held out his hand but got nothing. He says the schools asked him to apologize before he gets his diploma. He says he won't. He did nothing. Is CBS News.
CBS News Radio is your home for breaking news. With our team of reporters around the country and the world, we give you the coverage you can trust.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/work. That's ZipRecruiter.com/work.
I'm CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger with a quick tip from H2O Wireless on stretching your budget and saving money every month. Start with your recurring monthly bills, and here's the easiest one, your cell phone bill. Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile charge premium rates for unlimited. In actuality, you have no need for that much data. H2O Wireless, on the other hand, is on the exact same network as one of those carriers, but charges you half. The average family of 4 is saving over $70 a month without having to sacrifice coverage. And listen to this, unlimited talk, text, and 15 gigs of data for just $36 per month. Switching is as easy as swapping out your SIM card. You can keep your phone and your phone number. Here's how to get the best deal. This month, dial pound 250 and say keyword get H2O. You'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Dial pound 250 and say get H2O for this exclusive offer and start saving today.
2020 was a difficult year for all of us, but the WSGW News team continued working hard to keep you informed through a pandemic, a 500-year flood, a presidential election, and much more. We're honored to be recognized by the Michigan Association of Broadcasters this year with 6 first-place awards and flood coverage, COVID-19, sports, community involvement, and use of new media, along with the top award, Station of the Year. For 2021 and beyond, WSGW is your connection to the Great Lakes Bay region and the world.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
It's 79 degrees at 9:05. Good morning. I'm Dave Maurer. Police in Isabella County are looking for a homicide suspect. State police from the Mount Pleasant Post responded to a home on South Isabella Road in Union Township yesterday morning around 3:15 a.m. on a sexual assault and homicide call. Investigators have identified 40-year-old Isaiah Gary Gardenhire as a suspect who has not been located. Gardenhire is a black male, 6'1" and about 180 pounds. He has black hair and brown eyes and goes by the nickname. And with information about him or his whereabouts is asked to call 911. After budget talks at their last meeting, Saginaw City Council now looks ahead to this fiscal year. Parts of the council consent agenda include the acceptance of a 2021 blight elimination grant worth $200,000 from the Department of Treasury and State Land Bank, receiving a new police canine at no cost to the police department from the Saginaw Valley Police Canine Association, and a vote on a petition by Wolverine Fireworks to display fireworks on Ojibwe Island for the 4th of July. Well, the largest part of last week's session being for the city's water services. Public hearings will be held this week regarding the proposed lead service line replacement project and to hear cooperation agreement with the James Township, St. Charles, and Swan Creek Township water authorities for service. After successful launches in Saginaw and Midland, Bird e-scooters will soon be adding Bay City to their local partnerships. WSGW's Rick Antonio has more.
After the approval of a memorandum of understanding with the company by city commissioners, the initial deployment would add 75 scooters to the area. Each scooter costs $1 to activate, tallies a per-minute fee, and utilizes a geofenced service area to keep them out of areas deemed too high traffic by the city. The scooters, which can be used by anyone registered on the Bird app, hope to offer an eco-friendly and cost-effective way to get around the city. Individuals in the Saginaw and Midland communities have expressed concerns regarding the parking of the e-scooters when not in use or with riding them on sidewalks without yielding to pedestrians, but a Bird representative will be in attendance at this week's session to answer any resident question. 100.5 and 790.
WSGW News Time, 9:07.
It's big, it's loud, and it's lurking in your basement or your garage.
Honey, it's making that noise again.
It's your water heater.
If your water heater is on the fritz, call A Plus Plumbing today. Let's replace that old clunker with a compact, high-efficiency, tankless water heater. From maintenance to repair to complete installation, A Plus Plumbing handles all commercial and residential needs. A Plus Plumbing, your tankless water heating experts. Online.
This is Dan Streeter of Rescue Ministries of Mid-Michigan. Many mothers in Mid-Michigan are struggling to make ends meet. They need a fresh start. A fresh start often begins with a hot meal, a restful night of sleep, an encouraging word for someone who cares. When you support Rescue Ministries of Mid-Michigan, homeless mothers get the help they need to ensure their families have a second chance to grow and thrive. Please go to r3monline.org to make a gift today. There's no place like home unless you don't have one.
WSGW News Time now 9:08. A man is dead after a Cola County Saturday night. Police say the man was riding south on M24 near Ainsworth Road near Unionville around 10 o'clock when he attempted to make a turn into a driveway. A car traveling in the same direction struck the motorcycle from behind. The driver of the car began CPR immediately after calling 911, according to police. The motorcycle rider was declared dead at the scene. The crash is still under investigation. Police in Bay County are investigating a motorcycle crash that occurred Friday. Bay County Central Dispatch reported the crash around 7:40 p.m. in the area of Linwood and 8 Mile Roads. Initial reports indicate the motorcycle was struck by a truck. The driver of the motorcycle was reported killed while hospitalized with unknown injuries. The body of a man was found in the Flint River Sunday afternoon, and Michigan State Police say the body was found north of downtown. No foul play is suspected, and investigation is underway. Anyone with information should call police. Flint police are investigating after a man and a woman were shot and killed early Sunday, and a second woman was critically injured. MLive reports Michigan State Police say officers found a 28-year-old man dead at about 3 Sunday morning, and 2 women with gunshot wounds. They were taken to the hospital where a 33-year-old woman died, and the other, who's 28, is in critical condition. Anyone with information is asked for Crime Stoppers. Companies are struggling to bounce back from the pandemic crisis. Many may be leaning on you to help them out. Business editor Murray Feldman reports.
You may not realize it, but you may be paying more at some stores and restaurants because you use a credit card. A local eatery recently slapped a 3% fee on their bill for credit card usage. Oh, you want ice in that drink? Well, ice cubes cost $2 more. These fees and charges are not always spelled out for you to see. Kimberly-Clark, Procter & Gamble, Michigan-based Whirlpool all have raised prices or plan to do so, some by as much as 10%. Costco raised prices 20% for some beef products and 10% for clothing. Also examine the size of the package you're buying in the store. Some manufacturers are holding the line on prices but giving you less in the package. Financial analysts call that shrinkflation. Murray Feldman, Michigan News Network.
When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 7520790. It's 9:10. I'm Dave Maurer.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Partly sunny skies today with a few isolated showers and thunderstorms possible during the afternoon and a high in the upper 80s. We'll have mostly cloudy conditions for tonight and a low in the upper 60s. Scattered showers and day with a high of 85 degrees with more showers and storms expected Tuesday night and a low of 68. Rainy throughout the day on Wednesday for the middle part of the week with temperatures remaining in the mid-80s with more scattered rain showers Wednesday night and a low temperature around 66 degrees. This is staff meteorologist Jake Pozesinski with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Right now, 79.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinion. Block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Good morning and welcome. A brand new week, a brand new day of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. Later on, after the 10 o'clock news, we will be talking to Bridgette Gransden. She is the Midland County Administrator. We'll talk about life in Midland County these days. At 11 o'clock on Focus, we're going to talk about a business, one that is called Dive and Glide. And we will talk to Angie about that. But for this hour, we have open phones for you from now right up through 10 o'clock. And, of course, the numbers, 752-6111. Toll free in the state of Michigan is 866-790-WSGW. If you are outside the state of Michigan, you can call 989-752-6111. Most carriers don't charge you long distance and roaming anymore. We'd love to hear from you this morning. A number of things to talk about this morning, some of which we've actually chatted about a little bit before. We have talked for on a number of occasions about the power of one senator in particular, and that senator is from West Virginia. His name is Joe Manchin. He is, by all accounts, a centrist, a moderate, and works well across the aisle. And in a Senate where the Democrats do not have a majority, it's 50-50, their majority comes from the vote of the vice president, he carries a lot of swing power, because if he decides to vote against a Democratic proposal, they lose. They don't have the votes unless they can conjure up a Republican vote or two, which is not happening these days. Well, such is the case. As we've talked about his power. It would appear that the Voting Rights Act, working its way through the Senate, will not become law because Joe Manchin has said he will not vote for it. His reason is interesting, though. He is not going to vote for it, not because of the contents of the bill. He's not going to vote for it because no Republicans are supporting it, and he thinks that anything that has to do with voting rights needs to be bipartisan. So it dies, because if he doesn't vote for it, even with the vice president, they don't have enough votes to pass it. Thus, we demonstrate again the power of one person and how one person can hold sway, particularly in a divided House like Congress is. They only have about 4 votes in the House that they can play with, and they have no votes in the Senate that they can play with on the Democratic side. So Joe Manchin literally controls the Senate. He can literally dictate what passes and what doesn't pass, despite the desires of the president, despite the desires of Leader Schumer. Doesn't matter. Joe Manchin has the power. It's going to be interesting to watch over the next year or two. I think in 2022, the tell of the tale, so to speak. Typically, parties in power, that is holding the presidency and Congress in some cases, tend to lose ground in the midterms. And there are signs that that may be happening this time around, too, because Republicans are gaining ground in state houses all over the country. So in 2022, All the Republicans have to do is swing one seat in the Senate to gain back the power in the Senate and switch the majority leader. And in the House, they only need about 5. So you know where the push is going to be over the next year. Yeah, I know President Trump addressed one of the Carolina Republican conventions and, talked about 2024 and all of that. But the reality is 2022 is a key, big key to the future of the Republican Party, as well as the Democratic Party, because it is such a divided Congress. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting to watch. Normally, I don't, I have to be honest, I don't pay that much attention to the midterms. This time around, you bet. It's going to be fascinating to see what happens. It's going to be fascinating and doesn't take very much to swing it. Now, understand also that it's a year and a half away. A lot can happen in a year and a half, both ways. So I'm not sitting here ready to place a bet on one side or the other. And it also depends on who runs for these various offices and how they're viewed by the constituencies of their district. Time will tell. But it will be interesting only because it is such a closely divided Congress that it won't take much to change it. Should be interesting to watch. Indeed, I think. So, and the guy to watch right now for the next year and a half, obviously, is Joe Manchin. Because he literally controls Joe Biden's agenda. If he doesn't vote for it, Joe Biden doesn't get it. It's that simple. Because it's not likely that Republicans will switch over and vote to support. Not likely at all. There may be a few in the House, but not likely any in the Senate. And if it doesn't happen in the Senate, it doesn't happen. So it'll be interesting to see just how much power Joe Manchin wields, and if he wields it totally independent of his party. All right, it is time to take a pause. Let me tell you that our program is sponsored by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty. And, sellers are getting top dollar for their homes right now. Average 1 day on the market, and most of the homes are selling above asking price. Linda Shepard sells faster. Buyers are cash or pre-approved. She doesn't waste a lot of time. She's easy to work with. No pressure. Several years of experience. Now, Linda is a full-time agent that lives here and sells here, and her agency, Pinnacle, is not a franchise. So the money stays right here in our community. And buyers right now, the interest rates are extremely low. And Linda Shepard watches the market closely so clients get a showing fast and they have a fighting chance. She'll fight for every offer, every time. Call Linda Shepard at 989-295-7713. 295-7713. She's busy. If she doesn't answer, leave a message. She'll call you back. And we will be back after these notes.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month. But .com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Sponsored by Age of Learning.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
China reports its exports and imports surged in May on growing demand as the pandemic winds down in the U.S. and other key markets. Customs data released today shows exports rose 28% from a year earlier and imports soared 51%. China's trade surplus with the United States rose 14% in May to nearly $32 billion, which means a ballooning deficit for the U.S. Get your Wall Street Journal reports cell phone carriers like AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile are offering deep discounts on new smartphones to defend their customer bases. And the Jersey Mike's Sandwich Shop, due to open in California, is putting its money where its mouth is, offering new hires up to $10,000 and generous employment benefits amid a shortage of workers to fill key positions. Stock futures are mixed ahead of the opening bell. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Sal Giangrasso, invested in you.
Need the perfect Father's Day gift? Get them a shirt from Untuck It. Untuck It shirts are designed to be worn untucked so they feel comfortable and look sharp all sizes and fits for every body, so you can easily find something in his size. This Father's Day, find the perfect present for dad at untuckit.com or one of 80 plus Untuck It stores nationwide. Use code DAD20 for 20% off your first purchase. Untuck It, shirts designed to be worn untucked.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage and Rocket Companies. Last year, we saw historically low mortgage interest rates. What you may not know is that interest rates are already starting to increase, and it's likely that trend is only going to continue. Our team of experts is standing by to help you save before rates go up. Don't you would take an action. Call 833-8ROCKET or visit rocketmortgage.com. Rocket.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states and MLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
If you are anything like me, you're tired of being cooped up and want to travel. Good news! I invite you to join me, Art Lewis, in June of 2022 for a wonderful trip to the Colorado Rockies. In cooperation with Collette Vacations, this journey will take us to Denver for the start of our tour. Highlights include Denver, Rocky Mountain National Park, Colorado National Monument, Grand Junction, Canyonlands National Park, Dead Horse Point State Park, Arches National Park, Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad National Park, the Royal Gorge Railroad, and Garden of the Gods. Will fly from Detroit Metro with shuttle bus service from Saginaw. Cost of this June 17th, 2022 9-day tour is $32.29 per person, double occupancy, and includes air and ground transportation, 13 meals, all hotels and sightseeing. Book now and save $200 a person. For a color brochure, email your address to artlewis@wsgw.com. Let's hit the road together again. It's about time.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show. Are you ready for a hot vax summer? Do I get that at Starbucks? I hesitate to answer. Yeah, me too.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
And we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show on WSGW, an open line hour. Whatever's on your mind, give us a call and we'll chat about it. A number in Congress, 80, I think, if I read this right. 80 members of Congress have signed a letter in support of sending you another stimulus check. Now, I have to tell you, the letters were addressed, by the way, to President Biden, recommending additional payments to continue to keep citizens out of poverty. And the president has not said anything, but his press secretary, Jen Psaki, said on Thursday, he's happy to hear from a range of ideas on what would be most effective and what's most important to the economy moving forward. So do you think the U.S. needs more stimulus checks? I have to offer up my view of it. We are at the point where we are coming out of COVID. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel. We're approaching 70% vaccination, which was the president's goal by July 1st. And quite honestly, I hope he makes it. It's good for the country. And if you have any notion that jobs are scarce, Go to any business and look at the help wanted signs. Some of the help wanted signs are bigger than their own advertising signs. There are jobs aplenty. I think we got to stop throwing money at everybody and incentivize going back to work, not staying home. Now, I know there are exceptions. Child care has been used as a leading example of why moms can't go back to work, because they need somebody to take care of the child and they can't afford it. And I understand there are exceptions to every rule. But as a general principle, we've got to stop throwing away money. It just seems to me that we have disincentivized going back to work. We gave those laid off extra money, so they were actually making more than they were when they were working. We took away all the rules that required them to look for work. Slowly but surely, we're moving back to it, where we reinstitute rules that say you've got to look for work and prove it. And it shouldn't be too hard. I mean, let's be honest. If any of us were unemployed right now, and we didn't want to be unemployed, how long would it take us to find a job? 5 minutes? If that? The problem is, can't find people that want to work. Talked to someone the other day, interviewed 3 people for 2 jobs, hired 2 people out of the 3. Only one of them actually showed up. And talk to any employer right now. Any employer. It's universal. It's not singular. It's all over the place. Caller waiting for us. Nora is in Bay City, so we say good morning to Nora.
Good morning, Art.
Morning.
I was going to bothering me for a while. I'm pretty much up in age, and I was wondering, when I went to school, the government said that every time that they printed money, they had to have gold or something to back it up to make it equal and everything. Well, I read an article not too long ago. They said that they were going to print more money to back up the money that they were printing, and it made no sense to me. When the government is printing all this money, nothing makes sense to me.
Well, Nora, what you remember was the gold standard,
right,
which went away a long time ago, and we started issuing Federal Reserve notes. If you look at old money, old dollar bills, across the top you might have seen silver certificate. Yeah, or gold certificate in some cases. That was when it was backed by precious metal. It's no longer backed by precious metal. It is backed by the faith of the federal government. And we accept that as valid. It has been that way for a long, long time. Decades it's been that way. And so, yes, the government can print money. The problem is, if they print money to replace money, in other words, old money coming out of the system because it's worn, torn, what have you, they're constantly printing money to replace old money. It's when they print extra money over and above what the worn money justifies that we end up with problems because of inflation. And that happened back in the 80s and 90s, where we had, you remember the Jimmy Carter days, we had 19-20% inflation. They have to be prudent in how much money they pump into the system, because if they keep printing money in excess of what they need, it deflates the value of that money. And consequently, the money ends up with very little value. Are we there yet? No. Are we heading there? Maybe, because they've spent us into a tither. I mean, you know, when the national debt is $28 trillion, somebody's got to pay for that. It's you and me, nobody else. So, you know,
How can the government balance anything out like that?
They don't have to. That's the problem. The federal government is not like your state government or your local government, where they have to operate with a balanced budget. No such rules for the feds. They can do what they want, and they do.
It's the dollar worth now. If they're giving all these stimulus checks out, and if they don't have to balance the budget and everything, it just does not make sense.
It's deficit spending. And when you
Right.
deficit spend, you get the money by borrowing it from everyone else. The way they do that is to sell bonds, for example. If you were to buy a savings bond, you are loaning the government money. They pay you back with interest, but you, in effect, are buying part of the debt. And not only are you doing it, but so are foreign governments. China, for example, can own part of our debt. Other countries that we may not like can own part of our debt.
I heard that China owns us. What?
Well, they own part of the debt. I've heard 10%. I don't know what the exact number is, but they have always bought part of the U.S. debt because they knew they'd get money. You know, it's a safe bet. It's a guaranteed return. If you buy a bond today, you know exactly how much you're going to get back for that bond. The only problem is, by the time you get it back, is it worth anything? That's another question.
Oh, it just makes no sense to me. And I was wondering if our grandchildren will ever see the states and an even keel, or I just don't know.
Well, yeah, I'm not that much of a pessimist. I'm a cautionary optimist. That's the way I describe myself. So until they prove me otherwise, right now anyway, I'm a cautionary optimist.
Well, thank you, Art.
All right, Nora.
Make any sense to me?
That's
and
all right.
And all. It's just
Doesn't make a lot of sense to a lot of people. So,
oh Lord,
good luck. Thanks a lot.
And giving more money out, and
Yep.
it's good on one side and unbalanced on the other.
Yeah.
And I know people need money and everything, but I've
Wow.
seen money go to people that didn't even need it.
Yep, that's part of the problem. All right, Nora, appreciate the call. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye now. And let's talk to Mark in Harrisville. Mark, good morning.
Morning, Art. I thought you were going to take a commercial break.
I was, but I decided I'd give you the advantage.
I appreciate it. Hey, El Salvador is looking to go Bitcoin, pay all their employees and pay anybody through Bitcoin. Would you think that they're going to be the pioneer of a transformation of potential, what they'll call dirty money that, nobody wants to carry anymore and go digital?
I don't know if they'll be the pioneer, but they'll certainly be the test case. There was, I thought I heard a story the other day that China actually was thinking about it. And I'm going, what? You talk about a crapshoot, man.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Maybe there'll be a test case. Are they big enough to be a good test case? I don't know.
Well, you got the debt. The deficit is so high. Actually, somebody's going to say, "Hey, we just need to try something new." Because you did say money has changed over the years. Where you were saying something about.
Oh yeah, sure it has.
No longer
No doubt.
is. So,
I mean, is it impossible to say that Bitcoin will be the new currency of the future? It's not impossible. I don't think it's going to happen right now, but it's certainly not impossible. To be honest with you, I don't understand it. I mean, it's internet currency made up. I don't understand its value, but its value is based on what somebody's willing to pay for it, I guess. And so far, it's been up and down like a roller coaster.
Well, it's just like that GameStop.
Oh, well, yeah.
I've driven by there, and I just don't understand the concept of why it's so expensive.
Well, the concept was that a bunch of investors got together and forced the issue. It's the market. So what can you do? Hey, listen, I appreciate it. Mark, have a good one.
Alrighty, sir.
Take care.
You as
Bye-bye
well.
now.
Yep. Bye.
Quick break, and we will be back with more on the Art Lewis Show. Let me take a moment to tell you about my friends at Thalen. The Thalen Auto Group in Bay City has that whole line of dealerships along North Euclid Avenue. There's Thalen Chrysler, Dodge, Ram Truck, Kia, Subaru, Mazda, Audi, Volkswagen, Honda. They're all there in line. And right now, because of the number of dealerships, they have a decent, as a matter of fact, more than decent inventory of previously owned vehicles. It's probably the largest inventory in the Great Lakes Bay region, or one of them. Hundreds of vehicles to choose from, including premium luxury vehicles to everyday drivers in all price ranges. And remember, Thalen searches the market for the lowest prices on their vehicles. That's the price they pass on to you, and they do it because it's the right thing to do. Visit the Thalen Auto Group today on North Euclid Avenue in Bay City. View their inventory online at thinkthalen.com. Test drive the vehicle of your dreams, and then sit down with a Thalen representative to see how easy it is to make your dreams come true. And by the way, if you're interested in an electric vehicle, you stop into the Audi and Volkswagen dealership, take a look at the Audi e-tron and the Volkswagen ID4 electric vehicles from Thalen. Thalen Auto Group, been serving the automotive needs of the Great Lakes Bay region for 44 years, now in its third generation of family ownership. We'll be back after these notes.
Preschool is enrolling for the fall school year now. Mid-Michigan Community Action provides preschool for children 3 to 5 years old in Clare and Gladwin counties. Children with disabilities are welcome. Our preschool gives children structured playtime, activities, and learning opportunities, promoting success in school and in life. Full and part-time options are available. Apply today at www.claregladwinpreschool.org or call us at 989-386-8075.
Farmers interested in Michigan wheat are in for a treat. No early morning. The Michigan Summer Wheat Day is Wednesday, June 9th. You can get all the up-to-date research, ask questions of the experts, and find out what you need to know about this year's wheat crop. The event from Michigan State University will be virtual this year from 8 a.m. till 10 a.m. For information, visit online miwheat.org and click on Summer Field Day. 2 RUP credits are available and 2 CCA credits are pending. That's Michigan Summer Wheat Day, June 9th, starting at 8 a.m.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
The Saginaw Arts and Enrichment Commission and WSGW invite you to join in the fun at Saginaw Celebrate Summer, presented by Hemlock Semi. Summer is a great way to experience the vibrancy and diversity of the community while enjoying the many events, activities, and traditions the city has to offer. Animal amphitheater shows, tea ceremonies, festivals, concerts and virtual events, art fairs, museum visits, and much more. Saginaw Celebrate Summer, presented by Hemlock Semiconductor. For a weekly list of activities, follow Saginaw Celebrate Summer on Facebook and Instagram at Arts Saginaw. And for daily updates on all the action, keep listening to WSGW.
Slither into the Saginaw Children's Zoo, and you never know who you might see at an animal meet and greet at an amphitheater show. Visit new barnyard friends, Llamas, Bandana and Charlie, and Pig Charlotte. And Fossil Finder open this year, and remember to take your ride on the ADA accessible train and carousel. We will see you at the zoo this year.
Saginaw Children's Zoo.
How do you do?
The WSGW Morning Team Show with Charlie and Dave and Pat.
The WSW online poll is about the postage stamp increase. The U.S. Postal Service is requesting an increase for first-class stamps from 55 cents to 58. If approved, the change would take effect August 29th. Other price hikes for postal services would be included, along with layoffs of some management-level employees. This is as the post office is $160 billion over the next decade. So our poll question for you is, what is your thought on a stamp price increase? And you can choose these answers. I still use mail regularly, so eventually this is going to add up a little bit. I use mail every so often, so it's not really going to bother me. Or you can choose the answer, what's a stamp?
Or maybe some.
There could be some people. You can vote and participate in the online poll. Head to WSGW.com. You scroll down the homepage, find the poll box, and make your vote that way.
The Morning Team Show, weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
All right, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. Back to our phones. Delmar is in Saginaw. Delmar, good morning.
Thanks for taking my phone call.
You're welcome.
But three recent articles that were in the Wall Street Journal the past couple of weeks on this maybe another stimulus check.
Yeah.
What the government's waiting for, and a lot of politicians are waiting for, is what's going to happen on June 30th. On June 30th, there's no more a federal moratorium on people that are behind in their mortgages and in the rent.
Right.
That's on June. It's July the 14th for some reason. They passed around. But they're waiting to see how many people are going to have to give back their homes to the banks. People right now are saying, oh, yeah, houses are so expensive and there's a shortage of homes on the market. Let's see what happens after June 30th when a lot of them might have to be turned in.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. However, here would be my thought on this, Delmar, and you can react to it. I would not be in favor of a blanket stimulus check like we've seen in the past.
No,
if there are targeted payments for a specific limited period of time, maybe I'd look at it. Maybe I'd say, yeah, maybe we should take a look at that. But this notion of just let's send everybody a check is just, to me, it's wrong right now.
The other comment I have for you too is 80% of the jobs that are out there, that help wanted jobs. This is by the Wall Street Journal. They're for restaurant jobs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's a job, isn't it? If you don't have anything, that's better than nothing, isn't it?
But see, the problem is if people go and take that job for $2.85 an hour, some states is as high as
nobody's doing $2.85 an hour.
75. Oh yeah.
No, that's only now. Just a minute now. That's only
the waitresses.
That's only a tipped employee.
And how many do you think are tipped employees in these restaurants?
Quite a few. And how many do you think walk out of there with $2.85 an hour? Many of them are making more than $15 an hour.
Art, I'm telling you, I talked to a lot of waitresses and a lot of articles that cover this. And as long as we have a small business administration and the Small Business Federation of Businesses, we're going to keep that down as low as possible. What they need to do is they need to get rid of this $2.85 an hour up to $3. Pay them a minimum wage, a regular minimum wage. But the Restaurant Owners Association have such a strong lobby throughout the United States and in Lansing, they don't want to ever see it go past $4. So your food might cost too much. If your food's going to cost too much, then don't go.
Well, then nobody wins.
But then she'll get, well, yes, the waitresses will win because they'll be back up to $9.40 an hour starting.
No, if nobody's going, they won't have a job. No, they won't have a job because the restaurants will close because nobody's using them.
Sometimes when you go to a restaurant right here inside.
I go a lot.
Ask the waitress how much she makes a week with tips.
It depends on the restaurant you go to. Some of them will surprise you.
The employers are supposed to find out too, okay, if they're not getting $360 a week. If they don't get $360 a week, the employers have to back that up.
Well, I'll tell you what, I know.
Don't tell them that.
I know a lot of waitresses and waiters that are making a lot more than that. Now, the question is, are they reporting it? That's a whole other story. But the fact is, a lot of them, in even some of the smaller restaurants you'd be surprised at, are making lots of money. Some of them walk out with 100 or more a day. And
give them $9.40 an hour. Give them $9.40 an hour if you want to tip them on the side, and it cuts down all the cheating and what they're not claiming or are claiming. The other thing is the Bitcoin. My other thing is the Bitcoin.
Real quick,
the United States government is going to get rid of the Bitcoin as soon as possible.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know how they can. It's not theirs.
How they can do it, because every transaction when you buy Bitcoin, they can record those transactions. The problems we have with Bitcoin is called ransomware. When you hold a meat company ransom for $5 million, and you're gonna hold back all their data and all their information, they pay that $5 million in Bitcoin.
Yep, I understand that.
The reason why these pirates want Bitcoin, because you can't trace it.
Yep. Well, I think what's going to happen there is we're going to figure out how to interrupt the ransomware system. That's the big thing right there. And I got to run. I'm late for a break here, but appreciate the call. But just remember this: you'd be surprised how much some of the wait staffs make. Some, not all, but some of them make a lot more than you think they do. We'll take a break, and we'll be back after these notes.
Let me tell you about the Lumberjack Restaurant in West Branch. For parties big or small, if you're feeding a whole bunch of SOBs, then let the Lumberjack Restaurant take care of the grub. Mouth-watering ribs, finger-licking chicken, dangerously creamy mac and cheese. Everyone in the neighborhood will be begging for an invite. So get your axe on that fancy phone of yours and visit lumberjackcatering.com. Your next event with Lumberjack Catering.
Research shows that people remember radio ads with repetition. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, here's a repetitive ad. Okay. Research shows that people remember radio ads with repetition. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, here's a repetitive ad. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Power plants usually work their hardest, weekdays from 2 to 7 p.m., June through September. The cost of energy increases. By helping you make simple changes, Consumers Energy's summer peak rate can help lower your monthly bill and help Michigan switch to cleaner forms of energy. Together, we can keep Michigan beautiful for generations to come. Visit consumersenergy.com/summer rate to learn more.
These days, nearly every small business owner is looking for ways to cut costs. And that's where Spectrum Business comes in. They have the best business internet and phone available at prices that are up to half off what you're paying now. Costs for your business and get faster internet. Just what small businesses need right now. Call 833-919-2129 and get all the value with none of the nonsense. That's Spectrum Business. 833-919-2129.
Hey, WSGW listeners, this is Tom Sullivan. After being apart for a few months, thanks for your support. I'm back on WSGW. Join me weeknights from 7 to 10 p.m. Now, in order for you to talk with me live, you must call me in the afternoon between 3 and 6 p.m. You can hear our conversations later on WSGW. Call 855-295-6600. I'm Tom Sullivan. Thanks again for helping to bring me back to the WSGW radio family.
WSGW is proud to announce we are again a finalist for the National Association of Broadcasters Service to America Award. We won that award last year for our Sharing Hope Radiothon. This year, our 503 finalists vying for the Media Market Award for Community Service. Our entry showed the devastation and the resolve to recover by local residents in the Great Lakes Bay region. Together with you, your Service to America station is WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show and back to our phones. Russ dropped off, so we're not going back to our phones. Russ, call us back. We'll be happy to chat with you. Here's another topic that every now and then rears its ugly head. Interesting, though. This one's a little different this time. And that's the draft. The Supreme Court has been asked to review men-only draft registration. Is it, in this day and age, fair that the draft only conscripts men, or men have to register? I shouldn't say conscript because they don't go in. It's there if it's ever needed. But only men have to register. Other countries, like, for example, Israel, everyone from 18 to 21, male and female, has to do military service. But the draft in this country, when it was active and actually being used, and now when it's a registration process, has been discriminatory. Men only. The court is being asked to review that. It'll be interesting to see what the court has to say about it. Should the draft be men only? Let me carry it another step. Should we have conscription in this country? Should you be required to do military service let's say, 2 years when you graduate high school before you go to college. What about that notion? Should we have a draft? And should it draft equally men and women? My personal opinion, if it stays what it is now, that is registration, then I think women should register just like men and be subject to the call just like men. If you look at the military today and who's joining the military and what they're able to do in the military now, there are more and more women. Why should they be exempted from registration? So I would favor that. The question of conscription and do we need to force people into the military, that's maybe another show. I'm not sure that we need to do that today. I don't know that it would be a bad thing, but I'm not sure we really need to do it. Maybe you got some thoughts on it. Some good news today for Harry and Meghan. They gave birth to a baby girl, Lilibet Diana. And I think it's Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor is the full name. And they received congratulatory notes from Prince William and his wife Kate, and from Granddad Charles. And the Queen is delighted, we hear. It is the 8th in line to the throne, this little girl, believe it or not, because even though Harry has stepped back from his royal duties, he still is in line to the throne. And so this baby will be in line as one of his children. There's a number of interesting articles that have been written on what ifs. For example, the Queen either steps aside or passes on. Charles becomes king. And William, of course, becomes the Prince of Wales, which is the title of the next in line to the throne. Would Harry have his titles restored? That is the HRH, His Royal Highness. And there was speculation that would happen. The monarchy is, I don't know, it's interesting to read about. It's interesting to watch. It's ancient in its history. Its necessity can be questioned today because the Queen really, it's a figurehead position. She has no power other than technically the head of the Church of England. And it's an expensive hobby for the British. But they seem to prefer the system. They love the Queen for the most part. More power to them. All right. Something else I was going to bring up, and I forgot what it was now. I know. I wanted to congratulate Simone Biles. Now, she is and has been one of my favorite athletes. Of who she is, how she conducts herself, her personality, and her talent, which is absolutely amazing. Well, she won the title again, of the national title yesterday. All that's left for her to do now is go to Tokyo in the summer and repeat for the first time in something like 50 years the all-around medalist title in gymnastics. And I have every confidence she can do it. She is an amazing, amazing athlete. It's her 7th title now, all-around title. And there's nobody on the horizon that's even close. I mean, yeah, she's talented, and there are others talented ones coming along, but not to her level. An amazing, amazing athlete, an amazing woman, an amazing role model. You can keep on with the amazings because she has got all of them. We're going to take our last break, and then we will come back and close out this first hour of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW.
And the winner is... Who doesn't love to win? Now you can win big at Wildfire Credit Union with the Great Loan Payoff. Finance any secured or signature loan at Wildfire from May through August, and Wildfire might just pay it off up to $50,000. That's right, they are paying off a loan up to $50,000 for one lucky winner, maybe even me. Loans must be approved first to qualify. The Wildfire Great Loan Payoff drawing takes place in September. The winner will be notified immediately. Anyone who finances a secured or signature loan through Wildfire from May through August wins big with great rates and terms.
It's easy and convenient to apply. Just ask for Wildfire financing at your dealership. Apply online or directly at your nearest Wildfire branch. The Great Loan Payoff, now through August, only at Wildfire. Wildfire Credit Union, distinctively better. Loans subject to credit approval, restrictions apply. Visit wildfirecu.org/payoff for details.
Kick off summer with this free community event, Concert for a Cause. Along with the Robert Lee Review Band, Lori and the Lefties, and the Sheriff's Band. There will be food trucks and family games. Bring your lunch here, and don't forget your friends. Thursday, June 17th from 5 p.m. until 8:30 p.m. in the Y Courtyard overlooking the Saginaw River. The YMCA of Saginaw, strengthening your community for 153 years.
All right, that'll do it for this first hour of the Art Lewis Show. Next hour, we're going to start out talking to Bridgette Gransden. She is the Midland County Administrator. Talk about life in Midland County, see what's going on up there. Later on Focus, Dive and Glide will be the subject of our thoughts. But before that, we'll check in with CBS for the national and international report. We'll have the local report on WSGW. And then I'll be back with Hour 2. Talk to you right after the news.
From the Stone Spec. This is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. The morning sun is already blazing in parts of the upper Midwest and the Northeast on what's shaping up to be another day of record-breaking temperatures. This woman in Chicago is looking on the bright side.
It feels quite warm, kind of humid, but the sun is magnificent.
CBS meteorologist Jeff Berardelli.
Aberdeen today, 101 degrees. In Boston, with a temperature right around 96.
Oppressive humidity is expected to move in as temperatures drop on Wednesday. A new report says the world can't afford not to fight global warming. Here's CBS's Vicki Barker.
The study estimates that unfettered global warming will cause the economies of the G7 countries to shrink by more than 8% in the next 3 decades, with the less developed economies of the world hit even harder.
The Supreme Court's begun wrapping up business for the year by declining to hear a challenge by a men's rights group that believes women should be eligible for the military draft at age 18, just like men. The appeal by the is backed by the ACLU. Jeff Bezos and his brother have a plan to go to space. They'll blast off in a Blue Origin rocket on July 20th. CBS News space consultant Bill Harwood.
The New Shepard flight will not reach orbit. The rocket and capsule are designed for purely suborbital up and down trips to the edge of space, reaching altitudes higher than 50 miles to give passengers a few minutes of weightlessness and a truly out-of-this-world view.
At least 40 people have been killed in a train derailment in Pakistan. One passenger speaking through an interpreter.
The other train slammed into us, right into our carriage. I don't know what happened after that. My wife, my daughter, and my friend all died.
Residents have been pulling survivors and the dead from crumpled cars. France's anti-competition watchdog is fining Google the equivalent of $268 million for abusing its dominance in online advertising. Competition Authority Chief Isabel de Silva.
The legal effect of the decision is in France, and the commitments have been provided for the French economy. At the same time, Google has announced that it would implement those changes globally.
Parishioners at the Trinity Cathedral in Sacramento, California have come together after someone took down a rainbow flag that welcomes LGBTQ plus people, and they lit it on fire.
It's a distressing moment seeing that, because it's a symbol and sign of love.
He says police may consider hate crime charges. They're still looking for a suspect. The Dow is down 4 points, S&P off 3. This is CBS News.
Looking to hire? Indeed will help you speed up the process. They have 135 skills tests to help you find the right candidates faster. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Before buttons, things were much harder, like starting an outboard motor. Or even treating sleep apnea. If you've tried CPAP but struggle to get a good night's sleep, button with Inspire.
Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that works inside your body with just the click of a remote. No mask, no hose, just sleep. To learn more, visit InspireSleep.com. Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at InspireSleep.com.
Guys, stop putting your love life on hold. U.S. Pharmacy has some exciting news. If you've been wanting to try Viagra or Cialis, now's the perfect time. Call today and receive 90 little blue or little yellow pills for only $119 with free shipping. Why order some low-dose sildenafil from one of those subscription services when we can give you what you want now? Call 800-6271 and we'll rush your order discreetly packaged to your door. Been thinking about trying Viagra or Cialis? Call U.S. Pharmacy at 800-990-6271 for as little as only $119 for 90 pills. Need your package in a hurry? Call 800-990-6271 and ask about our express shipping option, and we'll rush your order to you as soon as possible. Save money on the little blue or yellow pill you've been wanting to try. Again, 800-990-6271 now. That's 800-990-6271.
For all of us, but the WSGW News team continued working hard to keep you informed through a pandemic, a 500-year flood, a presidential election, and much more. We're honored to be recognized by the Michigan Association of Broadcasters this year with 6 first-place awards and 5 merit awards for our flood coverage, COVID-19, sports, community involvement, and use of new media, along with the top award, Station of the Year. For 2021 and beyond, WSGW is your connection to the Great Lakes Bay region and the world.
Live from the 100.5 and 790. This is WSGW News.
Partly cloudy skies and 81 degrees at 10:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Percha. A Bay County man has died and his wife is in critical condition following a motorcycle crash in Bay County last Friday. The Bay County Sheriff's Department says the 58-year-old man was riding a 2016 Harley Davidson with his 55-year-old wife east on Linwood Road around 7:25 p.m. A 70-year-old Midland resident was driving a pickup truck and was making a turn into a driveway directly into the path of the motorcycle. The Bay County man was killed at the scene. His wife suffered critical injuries and healthcare in Saginaw for surgery, then transferred to Henry Ford Hospital. The Midland man suffered minor injuries. The man and the woman were both wearing helmets. Police say alcohol was a factor in the crash. The victims are not being identified at this time. On Sunday, around 3:15 in the morning, troopers and detectives from the Mount Pleasant State Police Post were sent to a residence on South Isabella Road in Union Township for an alleged sexual assault and homicide investigation. Investigators obtained information on a potential suspect and are actively searching for him. 40-year-old Zeke Isaiah Gardenhire, also known as Z, a Mount Pleasant teenage girl. Her mother told authorities a man had stabbed her daughters just after 3 o'clock at a house in front of Jamestown Apartments on Isabella Road, just south of Broomfield Road. Initial police and medical responders said there were 3 patients, and police later said that one, the victim of a possible sexual assault before being stabbed, had died. Police are asking anyone to be with information about Gardenhire or his whereabouts to call 911 or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-4. Gardenhire is a black male, 6'1", 180 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. GW News Time 10:07.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
The Saginaw Arts and Enrichment Commission and WSGW invite you to join in the fun at Saginaw Celebrate Summer, presented by Hemlock Semi. Summer is a great way to experience the vibrancy and diversity of the community while enjoying the many events, activities, and traditions the city has to offer. Animal amphitheater shows, tea ceremonies, festivals, concerts and virtual events, art fairs, museum visits, and much more. Saginaw Celebrate Summer, presented by Hemlock Semiconductor. For a weekly list of activities, follow Saginaw. Look at Instagram at Arts Saginaw. And for daily updates on all the action, keep listening to WSGW.
WSGW News Time, 10:08. The weather forecast is next. Macomb County Circuit Court will no longer require families of young people going through the criminal justice system to provide reimbursement for detention facilities, court-appointed attorney costs, and probation. The court to stop the previously required fees will result in a discharge of $84 million in debt owed by families which date back to the 1990s. It follows a year-long study that showed a majority of the assessments go uncollected. Black youth were overrepresented in the county's youth justice system, and fines and fees made it more difficult for probation supervisors to do their jobs. Driver's licenses and state IDs that have expired during the pandemic would get an extension under a new set of bills in Lansing. Here's details from Ron Dewey.
Senator Ruth Johnson, the previous Secretary of State of Michigan, wants the current SOS to extend driver's licenses, vehicle plates, and registrations, along with state ID cards, until the end of September. Johnson also calling on current Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson to reinstate same-day walk-in services. Johnson says some families have been ticketed $200 for expired licenses, being unable to renew at their SOS office in a timely fashion. Johnson's bills would also waive late fees and service fees until same-day walk-in services are reinstated. Ron Dewey, Michigan News Network.
When you see news happening, call the WSGW 520-790. It's 10:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. We'll see a few spotty showers and thunderstorms possible late today. Otherwise, partial sunshine develops a high into the upper 80s. Winds out of the southwest of 5 to 15 miles per hour, gusting as high as 20. And then for tonight, a chance for showers and thunderstorms. Mostly cloudy skies, a low near 69. By Tuesday, a chance for showers and thunderstorms, cloudy skies, a high of 85 degrees. Then by Wednesday, another chance for showers and thunderstorms, cloudy sky conditions, a high around 86. Showers and storms, cloudy skies, a high of 84 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW weather. Currently, it's 81.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, the Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. Nice to have you with us on this Monday morning. And we're going to begin the hour by finding out about life in Midland County, because with us this morning, on video, by the way, is Bridgette Gransden, and she is the Midland County Administrator. And Bridgette, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art.
Thanks for being with us this morning. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for the invitation.
Sure. Can you get a little closer to your mic, maybe, or just there we go. Good deal. There we go.
Okay, great.
Better. Let me ask. I think we need to start. When people think of Midland, they think of the city of Midland. They think of Dow automatically. There's a lot more to Midland County than just those things. Are there not?
Absolutely.
Give us an idea of life in Midland County.
So, yeah, there's a lot more to Midland than just the city and Dow Chemical. So, Midland actually covers about 528 square miles. And one of the things that is probably unique in Midland County is that the city of Midland is about roughly half the population of the whole county, and the rest is out in the townships in the city of Coleman and the village of Sanford.
Yeah, I'm going to interrupt you for a minute. Your audio is cutting in and out. It gets very low and then it gets very loud.
Okay.
I don't know if it's your computer or something.
Sure. I am actually connected to the network. I'm not on Wi-Fi, so.
Well, it's something that's going up and down. It's pretty interesting, but it's hard to hear you sometimes.
Okay, so you want me to speak louder?
Well, you could try it. Yeah, let's see what
Okay.
happens.
Is that helping at all?
Yeah, that helps. Yeah.
Okay.
That's much better if you speak right up. It seems to kick it in, so to speak.
All right, great. So one of the things that makes Midland unique is that we're in this valley and we're in a rural area, but yet we have sort of that big town feel in a small town. And there's no border at the city limits. So the folks that live in the city may work in the townships and vice versa. And, we consider ourselves really lucky to be part of the Great Lakes Bay region because all of the communities in this region have a lot of very different things to offer.
I would be absolutely remiss if I didn't ask how the county's getting along following the floods, following the dam collapses, and how has that impacted the county? We've heard from the city. How has it impacted the county?
Right. So as an organization, we had damage from the floods and the dam failures, and we are certainly in the process of trying to remedy some of those things. Art, we consider ourselves fortunate that we didn't have as much significant damage structurally as some of our residents or other local units of government or even the nonprofits in the city of Midland, like the Center for the Arts, Northwood University. They suffered significantly more damage to their buildings and facilities than we did. Unfortunately for us, we had just renovated our courthouse, our historic courthouse downtown, and we were in the process of rebuilding and improving the parking lot behind that building, and that was all ruined in the flood. We're well insured, and so everything, including the brand new elevator that we had put in the renovated part of the courthouse, was pretty much covered under our insurance. So we got lucky there. The thing that we've struggled with the most is trying to remove debris. And our parks in the Sanford area and even up north in Edenville, between the two bridges on M30, we have a park up there. It's a very naturalized park with some trails that bumps up against the Tittabawassee River, and on the other side, the Tobacco River. And there's a lot of debris, as you can imagine. When the dams breached, the water was moving at about 35 miles per hour, and trees were tipping over like they were matchsticks. So we don't just have vegetative debris, we have people's personal items on park property in the Edenville area and also in Sanford and along the rail trail. And a good portion of our rail trail, about a mile section, was also destroyed in Sanford. So running up against the requirements from the federal government and trying to navigate the FEMA process and requirements for that has taken quite a bit of time. So we still don't have the rail trail open, and We don't have an estimate yet of when that's going to be, though we did just take bids for that project, and we're going to be naming and awarding that bid soon. Good news is I think we're actually going to be able to start debris removal in the next week. So that, I don't think people realize what a big deal that is. There's areas of the park. People still do want to come to the park for some of the other amenities, even though we don't have a beach in Sanford Lake anymore. But there are certain areas of our parks we can't allow people to access. And the rail trail, you have to get off the rail trail where it's closed because we don't want anybody to get injured. And that's a big deal for people. So we're anxious to have that debris taken care of.
Some things you can control, some things you can't. Cleaning up the rail trail is probably within your purview, and you'll do it as soon as you can. Repairing the dams is not. What do you expect to happen with the dams and the lakes, and how long?
Yeah, that's that's the $1 million question, right? Everybody wants to know. Actually, the county does own Sanford Dam now. We went through the condemnation process with the assistance of Four Lakes Task Force, and Midland County owns Sanford Dam, and Gladwin County actually owns the 3 dams in Gladwin County: the Edenville Dam, Smallwood, and Secord. So we do have ownership and responsibility, and some of which, the control of which we have delegated to Four Lakes Task Force as our delegated authority. We can do that because of Public Act 307, which is an act that allows a local government to assign someone to help enforce lake levels. So the purpose of us obviously restoring the dams is to provide lakes, not mainly for flood control, but there certainly will be safety measures implemented. I mean, the dams were almost 100 years old, Art. So we, as we move and progress in time and our technology, we know that there are other safety issues that have to be addressed when we restore the dam. As far as timing goes, we're hopeful that the lakes will be restored within 3 to 5 years. Sanford is probably the first one more likely to be in the progression of things. It has less damage than Edenville and is more likely to be able to be repaired and restored in the 2 to 3 year time frame.
All right.
But it costs money.
I was going to my next question was, who's going to pay for it?
Right. So I can't say enough about Dave Kepler and his leadership with the Four Lakes Task Force in working with the state, the federal governments, foundations, and the local governments to try and figure out ways to come up with a significant amount of money to do all the repair and maintenance and restoration of the dams, and along with a special assessment district to help with that, right? The special assessment district is, our goal, and I know the goal of the Four Lakes Task Force and the Board of Commissioners is to try and have that annual special assessment be as minimal as it can be and still have the benefit of the lakes, because the lakes do impact not just homeowners, but recreation and economic development and tourism.
I have to tell you that I have said this many, many times in talking about failures of the dams. There was a proposal early on to simply tax the homeowners to repair the dams. To me, that was a little like hitting somebody when they're down. I could not understand how that proposal would fly.
Well, and in any of these instances, it takes a combination of resources, right, and funding streams to really make the ideal situation or the best situation that we possibly can. I think the thing that people don't understand or maybe are not aware of.
Your audio's bouncing in and out again.
Okay, I'm going to get a little closer. I think the thing people don't understand, and I get it, because it's not something that people would normally think out of, and nor do you have to deal with all the time. But if there's going to be a cost, even if we don't repair the dams, because we can't just leave them the way they are, we would have to disassemble them and take them down. So, I mean, that's also a significant cost. roughly a third or half of what it would be to restore the dams and bring the lakes back. So which would we rather do? We're going to keep our nose to the grindstone and look for, additional funding, hoping the legislature, the state of Michigan, has some legislative packages on the table. I think in the House, proposing a dam and repair maintenance fund for the entire state of Michigan and potentially over $200 million being earmarked for this area, which would be an incredible gift.
Yeah. All right, hang on. I want to take a break, and whatever you did moving the computer worked, so don't touch it.
Okay, I won't. Stay right here.
We'll be back as we talk to Bridgette Gransden. She is the Midland County Administrator. More ahead on the Art Lewis Show, sponsored by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty. Sellers are getting top dollar for their homes with the average of 1 day on the market. Linda Shepard sells faster. Buyers are cash or pre-approved. She does not waste any time. Easy to work with, no pressure tactics with several years of experience. Linda's a full-time agent that lives here and sells here. And her agency, by the way, is not a franchise. So the money stays right here in your community. And buyers, the interest rates are still low, a great time to be out there. Linda Shepard watches the market closely, so clients get a showing fast and have a fighting chance. She'll fight for every offer every time. Call Linda at 989-295-7713. 295-7713. Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty. And we'll be back with Bridgette after these notes.
Join the millions switching to Spectrum Mobile and you could save up to 40%. Nationwide 5G is included with every plan, and there are no added taxes or fees, plus no contracts. And for a limited time, get up to $300 off a new Samsung 5G phone with trade-in when you switch to Spectrum Mobile. Visit a Spectrum store near you or go to spectrummobile.com today. Savings based on comparison of single-line comparable unlimited plans amongst major national carriers as of 1/27/2021. Data usage limits vary by carrier. Spectrum internet required. Services not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage and Rocket Companies. Last year, we saw historically low mortgage interest rates. What you may not know is that interest rates are already starting to increase, and it's likely that trend is only going to continue. Experts is standing by to help you save before rates go up. Don't look back and wish that you had taken action. Call 833-8-ROCKET or visit rocketmortgage.com. Rocket.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states and MLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
Research shows that people remember radio ads with repetition. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, here's a repetitive ad. Okay. Research shows that people remember radio ads with repetition. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, here's a repetitive ad. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I'm Connell McShane. This is the Fox Business Report.
Wall Street opens the new trading week with the Dow and S&P 500 higher, but the Nasdaq lower. % global minimum corporate tax rate is aimed at big tech. Google agrees to pay a nearly $270 million fine as part of a settlement with French regulators of one of the first global antitrust cases to accuse the tech company with abusing its leading role in the digital advertising sector. France's competition authority says, in addition to imposing the fine, it's accepted Google's proposed commitments to settle the case, which includes promises to make it easier for competitors to use its online ad tools. Jeff Bezos announces in an Instagram post today that he will travel to space next month on his company Blue Origin's first passenger flight. The Amazon mogul will be joined by his brother Mark and an auction winner on the flight scheduled for July 20th. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Sal Giangrasso, invested in you.
Need the perfect Father's Day gift? Get him a shirt from Untuck It. Untuck It shirts are designed to be worn untucked so they feel comfortable and look sharp all day. They also come for everybody, so you can easily find something in his size. This Father's Day, find the perfect present for dad at untuckit.com or one of 80 plus Untuck It stores nationwide. Use code DAD20 for 20% off your first purchase. Untuck It, shirts designed to be worn untucked.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Your home for Detroit Tigers baseball is WSGW. Scope.
Line drive down the left field line, hooking in the corner. Gone, a home run. Man, Jonathan Scope, he's heating up, baby. Fly ball to left field, deep. Got a chance. Gone. How about Jonathan Scope?
Tigers baseball, brought to you in part by
Ed Raymond and Sons in Chesaning.
your local auto owners agents, including Rummel Agency, Mayan Agency,
And Buck Insurance Agency.
The Tigers play on WSGW.
All right, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show. We're talking to Bridgette Gransden. She is the Midland County Administrator. And so, Bridgette, dams aside, if you will, for a moment, what do you see as the most pressing issues in Midland County right now?
Well, we have this little thing going called a global pandemic. The health department, as one of the departments in this organization, has just been overwhelmed for the last 15 months, as you can imagine. I cannot say enough good things about them. They, right from the very beginning, whether it's been trying to help regulate and enforce and educate about how to respond and what people should be doing in relation to COVID-19. And then vaccines, and then another spike in our cases here in Midland County, and then more vaccines. So they've just been, they're second to none. We have just a top-notch organization in the health department, and the leadership in the health department has gone way above and beyond. They take their responsibilities very seriously, and they're very concerned about what happens in Midland County. One of the things that we are bumping up against right now is this sort of lull in people wanting to get vaccinations. So whether it's location, or they don't want to be the first one to get the shot in the arm, or they're a little skeptical about the vaccines themselves, we're looking internally at different ways to try and get to folks. So our clinics, at first we were able to fill 1,000 appointments in a clinic in a day, and now we're not. So we need to figure out a few new strategies. Like the summer art fair was in downtown Midland this past weekend, and we had a few of our nurses there being ready, willing, and able to give vaccines if someone was interested. We've partnered with a couple different organizations. We can't say enough about the Center for the Arts for allowing us to have clinics there, in the Council on Aging when we first started. But now we need to take it a step further and look at potentially setting up times to go into businesses, where businesses can say, hey, 100 employees, this is the day that we're going to have vaccination clinics. Sign up if you're interested, and then we'll go to them. So I think that's a strategy we have to use now.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect to see $1 million lottery or anything of that nature from that.
No, but we are doing a few giveaways if you follow our Facebook page. Anything that we can do. I know the Midland Business Alliance has talked a little bit with us too about potentially having some giveaways, or encouraging, just something, encouraging people to come out and do their part. So
Business is having a terrible time finding labor. How is the county doing?
Well, it's funny you should ask, because we bump up against that issue regularly, because sometimes local governments have a harder time competing with some businesses, and we're pulling from our candidates, our pool of employees. We're pulling from the same pool of employees as Dow and DuPont and Corteva and the hospital, and so we're seeing a little bit of a challenge with that too. It's interesting you say that, because I twice this weekend, I was out of state in Indiana. I saw a restaurant offering a signing bonus for someone to actually come work as a wait person. And then at least 2 places here in Michigan, I saw the same thing this weekend. I think that the extended unemployment was a wonderful thing for a lot of people, but it's also had the potential to have a side effect or an impact that maybe we weren't expecting, and that is if people are making more money on unemployment, they're less likely to potentially go searching for jobs.
Well, and we also removed the requirements to look for work during that time.
Those
So
actually
for a lot
started
of-
up again.
Yep.
Yep. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and you're right. The money at a certain point in time was needed, but it was also a disincentive to go out and find work, and we need to figure a way around it now.
Yeah, because I think as we're seeing in Midland and other communities, a lot more businesses are opening back up, right? And now that people feel a little bit more comfortable after after being vaccinated and knowing the percentage of people that are vaccinated, a lot more people are actually, going out and doing things, and businesses have to have staff to stay open. Midland County was not, we were hurt just like other local communities, and we had businesses that closed during COVID and haven't opened back up. The community and the residents that live here, we don't want to see any more of that happening, right?
And I am happy to see that the restrictions are being lifted a little bit. June 1st they were lifted. July 1st they should all go away, which is good because I'm going to MC at Tunes at the Tridge one night. So
all right, well, we'll look for you.
Looking for a crowd to be there as percussion night, I think.
All right.
But Midland, Midland is an important cog in the Great Lakes Bay region wheel.
Certainly.
And it's not just Dow. We think of Dow right away, but there's a lot more to Midland than just Dow.
There
Although
absolutely
it's an
is.
important part of it, no doubt about it.
Yeah, but I think the thing that we can't lose sight of is that small businesses really help with build the heart of a community. And Midland has some incredible small businesses. And a lot of those small businesses really do count on foot traffic and employees who, whether they're looking for part-time work or students who need work. And some of the restrictions, although I understand the purpose for them and to help keep people safe, that they really, that was the sort of the nick in the armor, right, for these businesses, and they weren't able to survive, or they really struggled. So I'm anxious to see that lifeblood come back and really help build the heart of Midland again.
Yeah, and we could talk for hours about the inconsistencies of administering some of those restrictions, but that's for another day. Bridgette, I want to thank you for spending some time with us this morning, and do it again down the road. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you so much, Art.
Thanks for being with us. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Bridgette Gransden, and she is the Midland County Administrator. We thank her much for being with us on the Art Lewis Show for this Monday morning. We'll have open phones for the remainder of the hour, and we will be back to do that. Let me take a moment to ask you how your sleep was last night, because in this world, we're asked to do more for less. So when you go to bed, you spend a third of your life there. You need quality sleep. You can get it with a quality mattress from Sanitary Mattress. Now, you can visit all the so-called sleep stores, or you can rest assured the mattress you are using is manufactured right here in the Great Lakes Bay region to your specifications. Your dollars are spent, and they stay right here in our local economy. Your time in bed may be cut short by today's demanding world, but don't be fooled. You can still get a quality good night's sleep on a Sanitary Mattress. And they feature 1-hour window delivery of your mattress to your home. Now, if you have an RV or a boat, Sanitary Mattress will custom make a mattress for you, something the box stores can't do. Visit the Sanitary Mattress factory and showroom serving this area since 1935. Set your GPS to 5343 Janes Road in Saginaw, just east of the Harry Brown Airport. Visit them on the web at sanitarymattress.com or call 753-1757. We'll be back after these notes.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
It's all about the nose. It's your air filter, the first line of defense against bacteria and viruses. If too many germs get stuck in your nose, guess what? You get sick. That's why it's so important to keep your nose clean, just like washing your hands. Now there's a better way to keep your nose clean and help your body. It's called Navage Nasal Care. Navage uses powered suction to flush out allergens, mucus, bacteria, and viruses. At Navage.com, CVS, Walgreens, Bed Bath, Target, and Rite Aid. Navage, Navage.
Guys, stop putting your love life on hold. U.S. Pharmacy has some exciting news. If you've been wanting to try Viagra or Cialis, now's the perfect time. Call today and receive 90 little blue or little yellow pills for only $119 with free shipping. Why order some low-dose sildenafil from one of those subscription services when we can give you what you want now? Call 800-990-6271 and we'll rush your order discreetly packaged to your door. Viagra or Cialis? Call U.S. Pharmacy at 800-990-6271 for as little as only $119 for 90 pills. Need your package in a hurry? Call 800-990-6271 and ask about our express shipping option, and we'll rush your order to you as soon as possible. Save money on the little blue or yellow pill you've been wanting to try. Again, 800-990-6271 now. That's 800-990-6271.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage and Rocket Companies. Last year, we saw historically low mortgage interest. Is that interest rates are already starting to increase, and it's likely that trend is only going to continue. Our team of experts is standing by to help you save before rates go up. Don't look back and wish that you had taken action. Call 833-8ROCKET or visit rocketmortgage.com.
Rocket. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states and MLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
WSGW is proud to announce we are again a finalist for the National Association of Broadcasters Service to America Award. We won that award last year for our Sharing Hope Radiothon. This year, our 500-year flood entry is among 3 finalists vying for the Media Market Award. Our entry showed the devastation and the resolve to recover by local residents in the Great Lakes Bay region. Together with you, your Service to America station is WSGW.
This is the Stone Specialist Studios, 100.5 News Radio WSGW, 790 News Radio WSGW.
And welcome back. Art Lewis Show for this Monday morning. Back to our phones. Carol is in Sheridan. Carol, good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning. I was wondering if anybody heard how the cherries and the apples and the things survived the frost.
Terry Henney, our farm director, was talking about that the other day. And I gathered from the conversation the survivability was better than they expected. Not 100%, but that there was reasonable survivability. They didn't lose the whole crop, let's put it that way. I thought I heard 25% or something like that.
Of apples and peaches and cherries and all of it?
Yeah, that's what he was talking about.
Okay, so we can maybe have a peach this year?
Maybe. Let's hope.
Well, and now this drought, everything.
That's the other side of it. So. Yeah, the drought right now is, to me, the more critical issue. The farmers have planted, and they really need the moisture. And there's going to be chances of showers every day this week, but are they the kind we need? That's right. We need a soaker, not one that pours down for a half a minute and then it's done. And I don't know that we're going to get one of those or not, but we sure need it.
Well, sure. Ohio, Dublin, Ohio, that golf yesterday. Dumped on them. Just a few minutes, just downpour. And the cicadas, it was fun. You could hardly hear them talking because the cicadas were so loud.
Oh, yeah, the cicadas are out.
Yeah, down there so much. Well, I was just wondering, but I knew an old friend, and he always said a dry year will scare you to death, but a wet year will starve you to death. So a lot of times things do survive when it's dry, but if it's too wet and the roots are rotten, you just wish them goodbye.
Yeah, well, let's hope it doesn't get to that.
Well,
so I heard one farmer who had planted last week, I think, or, it said something about the fact that there was probably about 10 days of no rain they could get away with. But
we haven't had. I think you folks have had more over there. I don't think we've had a good inch of rain since January here.
Yeah, you're right. I think that the drought maps show that you're drier than we are. So.
Oh yeah.
But we're dry. I mean,
yeah.
it's a question of semantics, you know.
Well, then somebody dug their beans up because they planted them early, and then it was so cold and everything was such a mess, so they replanted them. That's going to cost you a pretty penny to all that seed ain't cheap.
Yeah, no, that's
I
true.
was just kind of wondering. I hadn't heard much, and sometimes they put it in the, and now I know by now, that they can tell how many cherries and apples and things are left.
Yeah. All right.
We're in a good spring. Well, thank you much.
All right, Carol. Thanks for calling. Bye-bye now. And let's go down to Chesaning and talk to Mary this morning. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Art. I've got a thing in the mail again. It says something about no Medicare for all. Do you know something they're trying to pass? Do you know anything about that?
No, there's been political talk about Medicare for all. It's one of the things that Bernie Sanders has talked about for a long time. So you probably got a piece from those that oppose it.
It comes from, it tells you to see a doctor, your favorite prescriptions won't be available, your current health insurance will be gone.
Well, they're trying to scare you. I mean, let's face it, there will be changes if it ever happened. Let me ask you this. Are you old enough to have Medicare?
Yes, I do have Medicare.
Then nothing would change for you. This
okay.
has to do with everybody prior to 65. Your doctor is still going to be there, still taking Medicare. Your prescriptions are still going to be covered the same way they are now, if it ever happened. I'm not sure it's ever going to happen, to be honest with you, because it would take the will of the Congress, and right now, the way the Congress is split, I don't ever see that happening.
Yeah, I can't see how they could do all that neither. So
but anyway, it won't affect you. It won't impact you. Sleep well.
Oh, okay. That's what I want to know. Thank you.
All right. Take care, Mary. Bye-bye now.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Saginaw Bay City, 752-6111, toll free, 866-790-WSGW. If you're out of state, 989-752-6111. Let's talk for a minute about the G7. The 7 nations that make up the G7 have now backed a plan to have a universal international tax on corporations of 15% so that the corporations can't dodge taxes by moving from one place to another. Now, that's the G7. Nothing stopping countries outside of the G7 from not agreeing and inviting business to come on down. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with it. This is a proposal put forth by President Biden and Janet Yellen, and they seem to have convinced the G7 that this is a good idea. Object is to make sure that corporations can't just simply go offshore, go to another country and deposit all their funds and not pay, for example, U.S. tax. This would ensure at least 15% in all of the G7 countries. The other thing about it, does it then entice American companies to return to the U.S. for manufacturing? There's a debate about that. But if you tell a company that right now is going offshore with its manufacturing because A, labor is cheaper, better they can hide their fortunes there and not pay tax on it, that they can't do that anymore, you take away the incentive to go overseas, or at least a good part of the incentive to go overseas, and maybe companies will now reconsider coming back to the United States, bringing back good-paying manufacturing jobs. To be seen. Can't guarantee it. Who knows? Lines open for you on the Art Lewis Show. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more after these notes.
These days, nearly every small business owner is looking for ways to cut costs. And that's where Spectrum Business comes in. They have the best business internet and phone available at prices that are up to half off what you're paying now. That's right. You can cut costs for your business and get faster internet. Just what small businesses need right now. Call 833-919-2129 and get all the value with none of the nonsense. That's Spectrum Business. 833-919-2129.
For over 40 years, Region 7 Area Agency on Aging has focused on providing them with a wide range of free services, from helping you find the right drug plan to helping your loved ones get innovative care at home with access to in-home medical care, medical transportation, and so much more. Call the Region 7 Area Agency on Aging today at 800-858-1637 or visit us online at region7aaa.org.
I'm CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger with a quick tip from H2O Wireless on stretching your budget and saving money every month. Start with your recurring monthly bills, and here's the easiest one, your cell phone bill. Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile charge premium rates when in all actuality, you have no need for that much data. H2O Wireless, on the other hand, is on the exact same network as one of those carriers, but charges you half. The average family of four is saving over $70 a month without having to sacrifice coverage. And listen to this, unlimited talk, text, and 15 gigs of data for just $36 per month. Switching is as easy as swapping out your SIM card. You can keep your phone and your phone number. Here's how to get the best deal. This month, dial pound 250 and say keyword get H2O. You'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Dial pound 250 and say get exclusive offer and start saving today.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show.
Are you ready for a hot vax summer? Do I get that at Starbucks?
I hesitate to answer.
Yeah, me too.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
And we're back with you, back to our phones. Al is in Midland. Al, good morning.
Good morning, Arthur. I've heard many times that you've been following and were entertained by the various activities happening with the royal family.
Yeah.
I don't follow them at all. I haven't followed them since Princess Diana passed away. She was the only one that I really followed much, and the rest of them I could care less for.
Well, let me just point something out. It's not, I do it for the entertainment value.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
I'm not entertained by them.
Well, I am. I find their antics to be amusing, and I do find I enjoy watching some of the regality that they do with the weddings and all of that stuff. I find that entertaining. Period. That's just the way I look at them.
The last one that I watched with the wedding was Princess Diana. That's what I'm saying.
Well, and listen, you're probably not alone.
I'm a little bit of an oddball, but that's the only other people that I follow are the old time rock and roll people. Well, I do watch one fellow that's recent, Bruce Springsteen. I watch him a little bit.
He's been around a long time.
Yeah, oh yeah. Bob Dylan, Eric Clapton. You know that. Hey, those are my folks that I pay attention to. Our Motor City Madman, Ted.
Yep.
Those are the folks that interest me, and I like to watch what they're doing and how they're dealing with daily life.
But you know what?
That's my deal.
You know what? That's absolutely no different than somebody watching the Royals. You just picked and choose. True. You picked and choose who you want to watch. No big deal.
Yeah, we do.
That's all there is to it. Because, we tend in this country many, many times to put the wrong people on the high pedestals.
Right.
And then we wait for them to fall off. Sports figures come to mind. And so I understand everybody has their own likes and dislikes and who they want to follow. That's, I follow a lot of different people, not just the Royals. I mean, right. I'm interested in a lot of people, and a lot of them in the non-public world of entertainment and sports. I mean, there are a lot of other people that deserve to be on the pedestal, and those are the ones I like to follow. So,
right, I agree with that. I tend to put doctors on.
There you go. Bingo. Bingo.
And teachers. I had a very good teacher that passed away here a while back. I didn't make his memorial service.
But
up.
that,
And
you know,
I was thinking it was afternoon, and it wasn't.
yeah,
So
you got my gist. All right, Al.
thank you.
Have a good one.
Good morning, sir.
Take care.
Bye now.
Bye-bye. And in Saginaw, we find Carl waiting for us this morning. Good morning, Carl.
Good morning, Art.
Morning.
I'm not sure I would put Ted Nugent on a pedestal.
Well, you wouldn't. No, I understand that, but some people do.
Okay, yeah. You're talking about these stimulus payments, and that we don't need them anymore. The economy is recovering, and like you said, maybe some very targeted checks or something, perhaps, but that we don't need these broad stimulus checks any longer because the economy is recovering. And it seems to me, if that logic is true, then the logic would also be true that we no longer need these corporate tax cuts that were passed under Trump, because a lot of the reason for the tax cuts were to create jobs. Well, we have plenty of jobs. We don't need to stimulate create jobs.
I love your logic.
We have jobs.
I love your logic.
That logic? Does that logic?
Except for the difference that listen, I don't care whether it's a stimulus check or a corporate tax increase. You and I are going to pay for it. Period.
Well,
end of story.
I'd like to see
nobody else pays for it.
I'd like to see the corporations paying their fair share,
which means you would pay your fair share because you're paying for it. They don't have any money. They only have the money that you give them.
If you choose to buy from them.
And if you don't choose to buy from them, they'll pay less taxes. And only those that buy from them will pay for it. And whoever you buy from will pay the tax and you will pay it. You're not getting out of it.
Well, it seems
you're not getting out of it.
To me, are these corporations, they use our roads and our bridges and our airports. They use our fire and police, and they use our court system and our monetary and our banking system. But then when it comes to paying taxes, they're like, what? You want us to pay for something?
Well, first of all, let's separate some things out here. If we're talking about at the end of the day, the corporate income tax type thing, yeah, you're right. But if they use the roads, that truck they're using pays an enormous amount of tax. They pay taxes. They don't. Many companies have figured out how to pay zero federal income tax because they take advantage of the loopholes in the law. And fine, if you want to close those loopholes, I don't have a problem with that as long as you understand it's your dollars. You're going to pay for it. That's why I chuckle every time Joe Biden said, I'm never going to raise taxes on the middle income, anybody under 400,000, but I want to raise corporate taxes. Well, guess what? You raise the corporate tax, you raise the tax on the middle income. That's the way it works. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it works because they don't have any dollars other than what you pay them for their services and goods.
Well, it seems to me if corporations are not paying federal income taxes, then it's left to you and I.
It's always left to you. Well,
and I,
either way, it's left to you.
End up paying the taxes.
Either way,
and
it's
we
us.
Don't have a choice, but we don't have a choice when it comes to taxes. You don't have a choice whether to pay them or not. If a corporation, you can decide.
No,
I don't want to buy a microwave.
No. You will still pay the tax because you're going to buy the microwave. It just depends who you buy it from. So maybe, but then you don't buy the microwave. That's fine. Then you don't pay tax on it, and you decide how you're going to live. But the fact is, every time you go to the store and you buy anything, you're going to pay the tax. It's the way it is.
Well, maybe it should reflect the true cost of the item. The taxes, just like a
you don't get to decide that.
Reflects the true cost. Well, who does get to decide it?
Whoever made the item.
Well, whoever wrote the tax policy, I think, gets to decide it.
Well, it's just part of the cost of doing business, and you pay for it.
Well,
that's the bottom line. The bottom line is we pay for everything. And
well, it still seems you have a choice. If a corporation,
you have a choice
raises
of
its
who to
prices,
buy from.
You have a choice,
but you don't have
if
a
your
choice.
Taxes go up.
Well,
yeah, but if your taxes go up, you do not have a choice.
You have a choice to live
Unless
like a
you wanna-
hermit too, but we don't.
Well,
I mean, let's face it.
You move to South America, I guess.
Well, you could.
but,
If you want to live in the forest, go for it. I mean, you can isolate yourself, but the bottom line is most of us will pay the tax. That's the way it is. Hey, I got to run. We'll talk again, though.
Okay, Art.
Appreciate it. Take care.
Thank you.
I mean, it's just basic economics. All right. Let's take a break, and then we'll be back to close out. We'll be back.
Guys, stop putting your love life on hold. U.S. Pharmacy has some exciting news. If you've been wanting to try Viagra or Cialis, now's the perfect time. Call today and receive 90 little blue or little yellow pills for only $119 with free shipping. Why order some low-dose sildenafil from one of those subscriptions? Give you what you want now. Call 800-990-6271 and we'll rush your order discreetly packaged to your door. That's 800-990-6271.
Hi, break time? I know you. I'm Cologuard, a prescription colon cancer screening option for people 45 plus at average risk. It seems like you take care of yourself. I do. I play tennis. I try to eat well. What about screening for colon cancer? Not yet. Don't wait. Colon cancer is more treatable when it's caught in early stages. Tell me more. Cologuard is non-invasive and is used at home. It detects altered DNA in your stool to find 92% of colon. 2%? Yep, even those in early stages.
This was seen in a clinical study with patients 50 and older. Any positive result should be followed by a diagnostic colonoscopy. False positive and negative results may occur. Cologuard is not a replacement for colonoscopy in high-risk patients. Do not use if you have had adenomas, have inflammatory bowel disease and certain hereditary syndromes, or a personal or family history of colon cancer.
Most insured patients pay $0. Ask your provider or an online prescriber if Cologuard is right for you, or visit requestcologuard.com. I'm on it. Excellent.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider and are only available if the provider determines a prescription is appropriate. Subscription required. Additional restrictions apply. See website for full details.
My husband's ED was affecting our marriage. When he first started experiencing ED, it was difficult for both of us. We didn't know who to talk to about it or where to get help. HIMS was our answer. HIMS connected my husband with a licensed provider online. He was able to get medication to treat his ED at a fraction of the price people pay for the name brand. It was delivered to our door, and guess what? Our sex life is back. It works.
Right now, get your first online provider's visit totally free when you go to forhims.com/love. Yep, free. No copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Just the care you need.
Thanks to HIMS, we got our sex life and our marriage.
For a free online visit, go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/love. That's forhims.com/love for your free online visit. forhims.com/LOVE.
All right, that'll do it for the Art Lewis Show for today. Back tomorrow with lots more. We're going to move over to Focus. We're going to focus on Dive and Glide, Scuba. And we're going to talk to Angie Clappish-Widmer, the manager and travel agent there. All coming up. First, CBS News, and then the local report. And then I'll be back with Focus. We will do that right after the news. Stick around. We'll talk to you then.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Facet Wealth.
I'm Steve Kathan. A unanimous ruling from the U.S. Supreme Court. CBS's Steve Dorsey says it affects thousands of illegal immigrants who've been allowed to stay in the U.S.
The court sided with the Biden administration, which inherited the case from the Trump administration. The ruling could block a path to permanent residency or citizenship for thousands of immigrants in similar situations who entered the U.S. illegally. They were allowed to stay in the U.S. temporarily and even granted work permits because of deteriorating conditions in their home country.
And the court agreed to hear an FBI effort to block a civil rights lawsuit by 3 Muslim men from California who say they were illegally surveilled after the 9/11 attacks. Attorney Gadir Abbas.
We hope that the Supreme Court won't give blank check to do as it pleases whenever it invokes national security.
And the court says it won't take up a case about whether it's sex discrimination for the government to require only men to register for the military draft when they turn 18. Well, the first day of summer is in 2 weeks, but meteorologist Jeff Baradelli says parts of the upper Midwest and Northeast are feeling like it's here today.
Right now, we have an extensive and intense heat dome, but underneath that heat dome, we have a storm that's trapped along the Gulf Coast.
In Southern California, CBS's David Begnaud says a 6-year-old boy shot and killed in an apparent case of road rage today. Yesterday, a man and woman were arrested and charged in the case.
There were hundreds of tips that came in, according to authorities, and that's what led them to identify the suspects. Police had the suspects under surveillance for a pretty short time, and then yesterday they moved in to arrest them. It happened at their home, only about 20 minutes away from where the shooting happened.
Correspondent Vicki Barker tells us Fisher-Price is recalling a baby sleep product that's been linked to some infant deaths.
The Consumer Product Safety Commission says the 4-in-1 Rock and Glide Soother from Fisher-Price is unsafe. This after reports that 4 infants suffocated after being placed in the product unrestrained. Fisher-Price is 2-in-1 soother as a precaution.
He paid for it, so he gets to ride on it. Amazon's Jeff Bezos said on Instagram today he'll be on the first manned crew of his Blue Origin space project next month.
You see the Earth from space, it changes you. It changes your relationship with this planet, with humanity. It's one Earth. I want to go on this flight because it's a thing I've wanted to do all my life.
Wall Street right now, the Dow is down 53 points. This is CBS News.
Facet Wealth, personalized and affordable financial planning for everyday Americans. No wealth or asset minimums. Quality financial advice for every stage of your life.
Oh, wow. I love what you've done to your kitchen.
Thanks. We did new countertops and a new sink and faucet.
Oh, it looks great. Did you do all the work yourself?
Oh, no. We worked with the remodeling department at Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. They helped us select the right choice for us. Countertop material, and we love it. We shopped around too. Reamer had the best selection and the best pricing.
So, what's your next project?
Well, since we love our new kitchen, we plan to do the bathroom next.
Oh, wow.
This time, we'll go straight to Reamer. You should see all the new things they have for the bathroom.
Visit the showroom at Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning to see countertop displays of Cambria quartz and Corian, kitchen sinks made of Corian, stainless steel, quartz, swanstone, and cast iron, plus a large display of kitchen faucets from several manufacturers. One is perfect for your lifestyle and budget. Shop local. Shop Reamer. Go to reamerplumbing.com.
Any way you spell it, Reamer means quality.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/work. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/work. That's ZipRecruiter.com/work. /work.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom. This is WSGW News.
Mostly cloudy skies and 83 degrees at 11:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. Bay County Sheriff deputies responded to a fatal motorcycle crash in the area of Linwood and 8 Mile roads last Friday. Police say a 58-year-old Bay County man and his 55-year-old wife were riding a 2016 Harley-Davidson east on Linwood Road around 7:25 p.m. when they collided with a pickup truck. The truck was driven by a 70-year-old Midland man who was making a turn into a driveway directly into the path of the motorcycle. Both riders were wearing their helmets, but the man was killed at the scene while the woman suffered critical injuries. She was first taken to Covenant Healthcare in Saginaw for surgery before being transferred to Henry Ford Hospital, where the Midland man suffered minor injuries. Police say alcohol was a factor in the crash. Police in Tuscola County are investigating a fatal motorcycle crash that occurred around 10 p.m. on Saturday. A man riding the motorcycle was heading south on M24 near Ainsworth Road when he tried turning into a driveway. The motorcycle was struck from behind by a car traveling in the same direction. The driver of the car called 911 and immediately began CPR on the man, who died at the scene of the crash. ACW Ambulance, Unionville Fire, and State Police assisted at the scene. This week, Dow's Emergency Services and Security Team will be conducting training at Dow's Michigan operations facilities in Midland. This training will involve firefighting, which may produce visible smoke in the area. Practicing for emergency events is an important part of Dow's commitment to protecting employees, communities, and the environment. A news release said these activities give the opportunity to implement emergency response plans in a controlled environment, processes, and skills which may become necessary. WSGW News Time, 11:07.
Northeastern Paint, Home Decoration Center. We're more than a custom paint store. We have everything you need. From carpet to lighting, it's all here. With quality and satisfaction guaranteed. Northeastern Paint, Home Decoration Center.
Since 1959, count them, that's 62 years, Northeastern Paint Supply has been serving the Tri-Cities. We have the most knowledgeable staff in the area, offering you the highest quality products in the industry. Benjamin Moore Paints, Hunter Douglas Blinds, Quazell and Kitchener Lighting, Flooring from Flooring America, fireplace doors, gas logs, and custom-made rugs. It's all here under one roof. Northeastern Paint Supply, Saginaw and
Northeastern Paint, Home Decoration Center.
WSGW News Time, 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up. The University of Michigan will keep the name of a prominent Michigan Republican on a campus building, despite his description of Governor Gretchen Whitmer and two other Democrats as witches. President Mark Schlichtel wrote in a letter Thursday to people who want Weiser Hall renamed that Ron Weiser's remarks were misogynistic and violent, but that he has done much good. And the naming of the building was part of a donation agreement. During a March meeting with Republican activists, Weiser called Whitmer, Attorney General Dana Nessel, and Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson witches, and said the GOP would prepare for a burning at the stake in the 2022 election. He later said his remarks were poorly chosen. We're heading into the biggest car selling season of the year, but this summer is likely. Here's details from AutoBeat reporter Jeff Gilbert.
People really want to buy vehicles, but there aren't a lot of cars and trucks to choose from because of the chip shortage. Edmunds.com analyst Jessica Caldwell says we started to see that in a small way last month.
Perhaps May would have been better, if there was more inventory this month, but I think that it'll probably be a bigger story in July and August, where the possibility of sales were much higher than what the actuality was.
Caldwell says some brands will win out just because they have inventory. Some customers will place orders, and some may just decide to hang on to the vehicle that they have. Jeff Gilbert, the Michigan News Network.
The conservation corridor with links to existing protected areas is planned for a remote region in Michigan's western Upper Peninsula. The nonprofit Nature Conservancy says the 6,100-acre Wilderness Lakes Reserve in the Michigamme Highlands area is being expanded by more than 4,800 acres of forest and wetlands. It will create a mostly contiguous 19,000 acres of conserved forest land when combined with neighboring Craig Lake State Park. Wilderness Lakes Reserve is about 40 miles northwest of Marquette. WSGW News Time, 11:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. We'll see a few spotty showers and thunderstorms possible late today. Otherwise, partial sunshine develops a high into the upper 80s. Winds out of the southwest of 5 to 15 miles per hour, gusting as high as 20. And then for tonight, a chance for showers and thunderstorms. Mostly cloudy skies, a low near 69. By Tuesday, a chance for showers and thunderstorms. Cloudy skies, a high of 85 degrees. Then by Wednesday, another chance for showers and thunderstorms. Cloudy sky conditions, a high around 86. Thursday, a chance for showers and storms. Cloudy skies, a high of 84 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com. Focus is brought to you by Northeastern Paint Home Decorating Centers in Saginaw and Bay City. For all your home decorating needs, trust Northeastern Paint Supply, serving you since 1959.
And welcome to our Monday edition of Focus. Today we focus on a business that's been around for quite a number of years. We're going to learn about Dive and Glide Scuba, and we're going to do that with its co-owner, manager, and travel agent, Angie Klapisch-Widmer. And Angie, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art. How are you today?
We're doing well. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Sure. I think what we need to start with is an overview of Dive and Glide, how long it's been around, and what its main function is.
So my business partner, Keith Hintz, and I opened Dive and Glide Scuba back in April, May of 1997. So we've been around for 24 years. We started out over in Bay City as a scuba diving, snorkeling, and kayak and canoe shop. As the years have gone by, we've progressed out of the paddle sports industry, and we focus more on scuba diving in the Great Lakes and abroad. We do exotic trips around the world. So it's, and as we did more trips, I became a travel agent. So I'm not just a diver, I'm a travel agent, and Keith teaches scuba for several different agencies and has been doing so for almost 30 years.
Now, your travel agency, are most of your trips scuba focused, or do you do general purpose travel?
Well, it started out primarily as scuba focused. I was just a little bit frustrated with trying to put together group travel with agents that weren't. I think they were a little apprehensive about doing large group trips for us, so I thought it was something I would delve into myself. And then when I got into it, all of the certifications that you earn, it doesn't limit you to one type of travel. So I thought, well, why would we limit the travel we provide when we can set up any type of travel for anyone? So I do mostly all-inclusive trips for people, but probably 50% of the trips that I do they have nothing to do with scuba diving and snorkeling.
So you have IATA for your travel agency?
Yeah. Well, I work through a host agency.
Okay.
Myself.
Yep.
So yeah, it's a conglomerate.
Yeah. I asked that because I was a tour operator for years and had IATA. And
yes, and I did know that. Yep.
Yep. I was a tour operator for 14 years. We got out just
a lot of fun.
It was, but we got out just before the big downturn, and we were happy we did. So, it's one of those. You look back and you say, "Wow, I made a good decision." That was one. So,
well, it's starting to pick back up right now. A lot of people are interested in getting out and exploring again now that the world is, I think, turning in a new, better direction for the first time in a year.
So let's talk about scuba diving. How popular is it?
It's a lot more popular than I think most people realize. We get a fair amount of people that come into our shop and they walk in and they say, well, where do you scuba dive at? They see it as an unusual sport. And I think it's because they just haven't been exposed to it. But once they walk in, or see our awning sign and they come in and inquire about it, they realize that they are living on a peninsula. We're surrounded by the largest area of fresh water in the entire world, and there's a lot of great diving to be done out in the Great Lakes and even the inland lakes. So after that first exposure, I think people come to realize that it's not really the extreme sport that it's oftentimes, it seems to be when you see it on TV or in the movies. It's actually a very relaxing sport, more so than being an extreme sport. I mean, there are extreme sides to it when you get into that nature.
Let me, Angie,
for the most part,
let me ask a quick question. I've got to take a break here, but let me ask a quick question about this. Can someone who is not a swimmer learn to scuba dive?
Well, we would start out with swimming skills first and foremost. We want to make sure that,
I thought so.
make sure you can swim.
I thought so. Hang on. I got to take a break. We'll come back. We're talking to Angie Klampish-Widmer. She is the manager, travel agent, co-owner of Dive and Glide Scuba. More ahead here on the Focus program.
Let me tell you about the Lumberjack Ranch. Lucky for us all, it's that time of year again to hitch up the wagon and head north. Now, before you go getting too far on your journey, don't forget to fuel up that inner grizzly at the Lumberjack Restaurant. From nachos piled high with pulled pork to dangerously creamy mac and cheese, your gut will thank you for making the detour. So get your axe up to the Lumberjack Restaurant of West Branch, exit 212 I-75, where hunger...
I'm Dr. Andrea Russo, a cardiologist. Maybe you're waiting to talk to your doctor right now. But if you're having an irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, don't wait. This could be a serious condition like atrial fibrillation, which can make you about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you're having these symptoms, don't wait. Talk to a doctor by phone, online, or in person.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer. Guys, stop putting your love life on hold. U.S. Pharmacy has some exciting news. If you've been wanting to try Viagra or Cialis, now's the perfect time. Call today and receive 90 little blue for only $119 with free shipping. Why order some low-dose sildenafil from one of those subscription services when we can give you what you want now? Call 800-990-6271, and we'll rush your order discreetly packaged to your door. That's 800-990-6271.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider and are only available if the provider determines a prescription is appropriate. Subscription required. Additional restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
My husband's ED was affecting our marriage. When he first started experiencing ED, it was difficult for both of us. We didn't know who to talk to about it or where to get help. HIMS was our answer. HIMS connected my husband with a licensed provider online. He was able to get medication to fraction of the price people pay for the name brand. It was delivered to our door, and guess what? Our sex life is back. It works.
Right now, get your first online provider's visit totally free when you go to forhims.com/love. Yep, free. No copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Just the care you need.
Thanks to HIMS, we got our sex life and our marriage back.
To start your free online visit, go to this exclusive address, forhims.love. That's forhims.com/love for your free online visit. forhims.com/LOVE.
Show your age. Show strength. Show swagger. Show silky smooth hair with Hair by Maintaining Serum, designed to work with your hair as you age. Proudly show your age with Hair Biology. Available at Target and Target.com.
Direct from the Stone Specialist Studios, this is 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
And we're back with you on Focus. We're talking to Amy Klampish-Widmer. She is the manager, travel agent, co-owner of Dive and Glide Scuba, opened in Bay City in 1997, but you've since opened a second location, didn't you?
Yes, we are in Midland, just off of Saginaw Road, near McCready Sales and Clarence's Smokehouse.
So let's talk about the scuba side of things in terms of training. If someone comes to you and wants scuba lessons, what's the procedure? What happens?
Well, we first have a conversation with them about what kind of scuba diving they think that they might like to do. And then we put them in with one of our instructors that teach either NAUI, PADI, or SSI training. And we get them
Stop. What kind of training and what are they?
Okay, so there's multiple different scuba certifying agencies throughout the world, and the 3 most popular are NAUI, underwater instructors, PADI, the Professional Association of Diving Instructors, and SSI, Scuba Schools International. So we have 2 instructors on staff currently. We are adding another instructor in July, and we teach for all 3 of these agencies. So folks in this area, friends or family that are already scuba certified will come in and say, hey, I have this scuba certification. I want to be a NAUI, PADI, or SSI diver. And we work with them to put them with the instructor that we have that teaches that certification. Or we have people that walk in that just really don't know anything about scuba and say, hey, it's been on my bucket list. This is something I want to try. And I'm into the swimming pool and start the process of becoming certified. To earn a scuba certification.
What does that certification do for you? And, does it provide different accessibilities depending on the certification you have?
Yes. So an open water scuba diver certification is available to anyone ages 10 and up. And essentially what it does is it gives you a license to dive down to 60 feet. So a lot of the recreational scuba diving in the tropics, a fair amount of the shipwreck dives that there are within that 60-foot depth range. So you come in and do pool training, and then we take you out to the lake and get you acclimated to diving in the lake, and you earn your certification, and then you can go out on these charters and see the shipwrecks, or go diving with our dive masters and instructors to see things in the inland lakes, or even travel on, our group trips or individually to places around the world to see coral reefs, things like that. But it's and it's a lifetime certification. Once you earn it, it's yours. We always recommend to people that they continue to advance their skills so that they continue diving and reach recreational sport limit is 130 feet.
So if I want to go beyond 60 feet, what certification do I then need?
Then you would want to enroll in an advanced scuba diver certification that adds deeper depth to what you're able to do. Also adds things like boat diving and wreck diving and doing night and limited visibility diving so that you can, excuse me, losing my voice here. You can get out into the water and you're equipped to do things like if the water's a little bit murky, you're able to manage and navigate through that. Or if you want to do wreck diving that's a little bit deeper, like in the Straits of Mackinac, you have the skills to go to those deeper shipwrecks.
So there's levels of certification, in other words.
Yes. So you'd start out with your open water diver certification, go on to advanced. There's a rescue diver course that all divers, the standard rescue diver course is really learning all about how to handle in-water emergencies with other divers. They're very, very few and far between that there's ever an in-water emergency, but you always want to be prepared for things like that. And then, right on up to public safety diving, we teach a lot of sheriff's department personnel and police.
How much equipment do I need to do average scuba diving?
So to get started, you would need your mass snorkel fins and a pair of boots. Beyond that, you can rent equipment, but your primary pieces of equipment would be a regulator system, which it consists of a first and second stage. It's your breathing apparatus, and also a buoyancy compensator. Those are the pieces that most people will start out with because they want to know that it's well taken care of, that it's safe. So since that's your life support equipment and your buoyancy control, those are the first pieces.
So let's tell everybody where you're located.
So we have two locations. Our Bay City location is just off of I-75 at the M84 exit next to the Jerky Outlet. And our Midland location is on Cambridge Street, just behind McCready Sales and Service and Clarence's Smokehouse at the intersection of Saginaw Road and Dartmouth.
And do you have a website?
Yes, we do. We actually have two. We have diveandglideinc.com that kind of is a little brief overview of who. And we also have an online store at buyscubadivinggear.com where you can browse our equipment and also sign up for our classes.
Excellent. Well, Angie, let's do this again. Talk a little more about it.
Thank you.
Down the road. We appreciate your time this morning.
Yes, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks for being with us. Bye-bye now.
Yep. Bye.
Angie Clapish-Whitmer, she is the manager and travel agent and co-owner of Dive and Glide Scuba. We thank her for being with us this morning. Back to close out and find out what's happening in the marketplaces after these notes.
Before buttons, things were much harder, like starting an or even treating sleep apnea. If you've tried CPAP but struggle to get a good night's sleep, relief can be as easy as a button with Inspire.
Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that works inside your body with just the click of a remote. No mask, no hose, just sleep. To learn more, visit inspiresleep.com. Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
2020 was a challenging year for everyone, but now things are looking up, including the stock market. But the market can be unpredictable, and we all have had enough uncertainty this past year. Hi, I'm Ken at Retirement Planners of America. We don't want you to have another year of fear. Let us help put your mind at ease with our Invest and Protect strategy, which is designed to help mitigate the potential downside risk of the stock market. We want to help you protect your investments from possible market instability that could threaten your ability to retire or stay retired. If you are 50 or older, a free retirement consultation with one of our credentialed advisors. Call us today at 800-375-1159 to schedule your free, no obligation assessment and learn how we can help put you on the path to financial peace of mind. 375-1159. 800-375-1159.
G'day, mate. As an Australian, I'm a croc expert. Crikey, get him away from me. I mean Crocs, like the footwear. And as a croc expert, I have to say I like foamies from Skechers bloody better. Because foamies have that stylish, trendy look, plus Skechers' world-famous comfort. All for a price that's down under the competition. Skechers is a comfort technology company, and foamies have comfort innovations your whole family will love. Foamies are ultra-lightweight, water-friendly footwear that are flexible and breathable. Perfect for kicking it by the pool, grilling on the barbie. Or comfy enough to go on a walkabout. Plus, and features like Arch Fit with podiatrist certified support and max cushioning that feels like you're walking on big puffy marshmallows. Perfect to keep you cool this summer or warm in the winter, which is great because it's actually winter in Australia right now. Good on you, Skechers. So get yourself some machine washable foamies by Skechers and don't get bit by Crocs. He's a mean fella. Find foamies at Skechers.com, a Skechers store, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Your home for the Tigers is WSGW.
Fly ball to the gap in right center field, and that's going to get between the outfielders to the behind. Castro scores, heading to the plate. Candelario, he scores easily ahead of the throw. That's a 3-run double for Miguel Cabrera.
Tigers base by Lingle Equipment Company.
Bader & Sons, Michigan's John Deere dealer.
Wolfiles Ace Hardware in Saginaw. Your home for all the Tigers is WSGW. The Focus Show on WSGW. Brought to you by Northeastern Paint Supply in Saginaw and Bay City. For all your home decorating needs, trust Northeastern Paint Supply. Serving you since 1959.
And that'll do it for Focus today. Thanks for joining us. Back tomorrow with more. Time to head over to Baird & Company, where we talk to Steve Anderson about today's market. Steve, good morning. Steve, you there?
I'm here.
There we are. I didn't hear you the first time. All right. Here we are on a Monday. What's the markets doing?
Well, it's kind of got the Monday morning blues, I guess. The Dow Jones Industrial Average right now is down 98 points, putting it at 34,658 on volume of 303 million shares. The Nasdaq's down only about 5, putting it at 13,809 on volume of 352 million shares.
And your ticker tip?
Well, my tip revolves around kind of the psychology of investment. People will oftentimes say that they are long-term investors and they don't really care about the current ups and downs yet. But when we get a current down or something, it will rattle them into straying away from their long-term goals. It'll wind up doing nothing but allowing them to be stubborn. Just because you're a long-term investor does not mean that you should not review your portfolio periodically and make certain that the things that you own had reasons when you put them in there, to give you an opportunity to take a look and see, are those reasons still valid? And if they're not, you can go ahead and change things in there without changing the concept that you're a long-term investor. So just make sure that you're not using the term long-term investor stubborn.
And how do they get a hold of you for some help?
Well, you can call us right here at Baird and Company, where the telephone number is 790-5724, excuse me. And you can find us on the web at RW Baird, and then look for the Saginaw branch.
Very good. We'll talk to you down the road, Steve. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye now. Steve Anderson at Baird and Company with our ticket tip of the day. Terry Henny's Farm Show comes along next.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar. Made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
For over 40 years, Region 7 Area Agency on Aging has focused on helping our citizens and providing them with a wide range of free services, from helping you find the right drug plan to helping your loved ones get innovative care at home with access to in-home medical care, medical transportation, and so much more. Call the Region 7 Area Agency on Aging today. 1637 or visit us online at region7aaa.org.
Hi, break time? I know you. I'm Cologuard, a prescription colon cancer screening option for people 45 plus at average risk. It seems like you take care of yourself. I do. I play tennis. I try to eat well. What about screening for colon cancer? Not yet. Don't wait. Colon cancer is more treatable when it's caught in early stages. Tell me more. Cologuard is non-invasive and is used at home. It detects altered DNA in your stool to find 92% of colon cancers. 92%? Yeah. Early stages.
This was seen in a clinical study with patients 50 and older. Any positive result should be followed by a diagnostic colonoscopy. False positive and negative results may occur. Cologuard is not a replacement for colonoscopy in high-risk patients. Adenomas, have inflammatory bowel disease and certain hereditary syndromes, or a personal or family history of colon cancer.
Most insured patients pay $0. Ask your provider or an online prescriber if Cologuard is right for you, or visit requestcologuard.com.
I'm on it.
Excellent.
Guys, stop putting your love life on hold. U.S. Pharmacy has some exciting news. If you've been wanting to try Viagra or Cialis, now's the perfect time. Call today and receive 90 little blue or little yellow pills for only $119 with free shipping. Why order some low-dose sildenafil from one of those subscription services when we can give you what you want now? Call 800-990-6271. Discreetly packaged to your door. Been thinking about trying Viagra or Cialis? Call U.S. Pharmacy at 800-990-6271 for as little as only $119 for 90 pills. Need your package in a hurry? Call 800-990-6271 and ask about our express shipping option, and we'll rush your order to you as soon as possible. Save money on the little blue or yellow pill you've been wanting to try. Again, 800-990-6271 now. That's 800-990-6271.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robbins show, are you ready for a... But get that at Starbucks? I hesitate to answer. Yeah, me too.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW. Now, the only locally produced farm radio show with agricultural news, information, interviews, in-depth weather, and more. It's Terry Henney and his Farm Show.
Well, a partly sunny good morning to you. I hope your day's going well for you, wherever you might be. This summer-like, even though it's spring-like type weather that we normally have in the month of July, we're having it today. We're currently at 82 degrees already at the airport, 83 here at Radio Center, 82 downtown Midland, and 82 degrees in downtown Bay City. We should be at 76 for this time of the year. And by the time the end of June rolls along, our normal high should be 82 degrees and the normal low should be right around 60. So we're running way above that and way above what's average, because we are going to be looking at least 86 degrees for a high as we go through the day, with peaks of sunshine, a low tonight of right around 70, partly cloudy skies. We owe it all to a high pressure system. We owed our weekend to that high pressure system that was a little bit closer to us. It's drifting to the southeast of Michigan, taking up residence over West Virginia. And it looks like all week long, that high pressure system is going to be over the western Carolinas, eastern sections of Tennessee. It's going to continue with that clockwise circulation to pull that Gulf air up into and around the Ohio River Valley and here into Michigan. So every afternoon, more than likely 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, there's going to be a threat of some shower activity around. At this stage of the game, we call it an opportunity. But anyway, thunderstorms, some of them could possibly be severe over the next few days. Again, this is very typical of the hazy, crazy days of summer in the month of July. And we can only hope that these spotty thunderstorms hit your backyard so you have the opportunity to get a little bit of precipitation, because we are way behind. As of yesterday last night, our total precipitation in the gauge, liquid precipitation out at MBS International Airport for the year is 5.76, and we should be better than 14 inches of precipitation this time of the year. So that gives you an idea of just how dry we are in the Great Lakes Bay region. Other parts of the state, not nearly as dry, but still, everybody in the Lower Peninsula is talking at least a moderate category of drought. For us and a few other places, we're looking at extreme drought conditions as of right now. We touched on a lot of that a little bit earlier this morning. We had the opportunity to do a live social stream with Dennis Pennington and Jody Pollock Newsom. They were talking about that the virtual wheat field day, which is going to be held down at Michigan State University this coming Wednesday. It'll start at 8 o'clock in the morning, so you can join all the wheat professionals down at MSU as they go through a lot of the variety trials that they have when it comes to wheat. But again, a lot of our conversation also touched on just how dry it is, but in some spots, just how wet it is. And the wheat crop, obviously, soil types, as well as weather conditions in individual areas are really showing up as far as what our wheat crop should look like. And Pennington mentioned to us when he thought in Southwest Michigan they would be harvesting wheat. So if you have a chance, you might want to just dial up the Farm Service Facebook and take a look at that conversation that we had with those two this morning a little bit earlier, and obviously join up with us on Wednesday morning beginning a little bit before 8 o'clock. So peaks of sun as we go through the day, an afternoon shower. The weather forecast is going to be pretty much carbon copied all week long until we roll into Friday, when things might change just a little bit. But I think we're going to be looking at a little bit different scenario as far as temperature and chances of precipitation and lower humidities once we move into the weekend, and especially the second half of the weekend, as that high pressure system will gradually begin to break down just a little bit. What it's doing is it's holding a pretty solid line of low pressure systems that run along the border with the United States and Canada right where it's at. And it's not really allowing that pathway to drop I think by the end of the week and into the weekend, that pattern is going to take a little bit more of a dip over the Great Lakes. But until then, it's going to be warm. It's going to be very humid. Our humidity level right now out at the airport is 60%, and that is sticky. Southwest wind at 15, steady barometer 29.97. Incidentally, record high in this state. We didn't break any records over the weekend. We came relatively close, but we didn't. Record high in this state is 93. That was set in 1933 and then tied 10 years ago, 2011. The record low is 40. That was set in 1977. And a year ago, our high was 73 and our low was 53. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast, including our long-range outlook. And Gary Kaufman will be standing by in just a moment here to take a look at the markets and see what's going on. But before we get to all that, we want to remind you the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Nutrien Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrien Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrienagsolutions.com.
They say there's a secret to growing a great crop. At Nutrien Ag Solutions, they beg to differ. It all starts with a strong foundation, and when it comes to fertilizer, there's no question that Titan XE drives dry fertilizer performance. They've been unlocking the potential in every prill of dry fertilizer with biocatalyst technology for over a decade. Visit lpi.ag/Titan or contact your Nutrien Ag Solutions crop consultant to drive your crop's potential today. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Steiner Tractor. You know, your tractor might be a hobby, passion, livelihood, or even your legacy for the next generation. At Steiner Tractor, they share your enthusiasm for these antique machines, and they know that you need to keep them running. That's why they take their job personally at Steiner Tractor Parts. They understand how your life and job both stop if your tractor stops running. New parts for old tractors, it's as easy as a telephone call, 800-234-3280, or go online, steinertractor.com. We say good morning to Gary Kaufman over at Star of the West. Gary, after a kind of a hot weekend, what are the traders up to this morning?
Well, I tell you what, Terry, they came out of the gate storming in the overnight trade last night. And, of course, when we left here Friday, we were really going to watch the weekend weather. And, we hot and dry in a lot of areas, and that created some fireworks overnight. But it's kind of calmed down here a little bit during the day trade. But so currently we have cash wheat up 3 right now. That puts both old and new crop at 661 on the white, 626 on the red. Cash corn is up 4 at 672. New crop is up 16 at 558. Cash soybeans currently up 3 at 1577. And new crop soy is up 20, Terry, at 1391.
So we quieted down just a little bit, but boy, we've really been climbing, even though, in the news, we've been talking a lot about temperature, the precipitation falling in some parts of the country. But evidently, this heat has really generated a lot of activity now, and it's moving. It's going to be moving off toward the east here over the next few days. I think New York State in particular, where they have a lot of dairy, they're talking temperatures close to 100 degrees here by Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah, and it's just like you said, we're getting our July weather in June. I wonder what's going to happen in August. Maybe it'll be a flip-flop. I don't know. But, with the weather as it is, Terry, and China continue to buy both the beans and corn. Carryouts are tight, so production is important. And with this torrid heat and dryness throughout the country, we've said it a lot of times, the volatility is not going to go away,
So at this stage of the game, it's hang on. My guess is everybody's going to be looking at some of the crops, and hopefully we get a little bit of precipitation. I'm still pretty curious. We talked a little bit earlier about the wheat with Dennis Pennington. But any scuttlebutt in the office there at Star of the West? What does the wheat look like right now? Have you heard?
Well, I haven't really heard, but just some of the chatter, I think, overall is just, we know we lost some yield, and, maybe the test weight's going to be a little bit lighter, but, we're not totally done with grain fill yet. So we've had, we get some rains here and sort of maintain what we lost here with some wet weather this week, and hopefully it'll be, an average crop, to say the least. So
Well, we'll take it as long as we don't have any disease pressure on top of that. And this weather isn't really helping, is it?
It is not. No, that is for sure.
Gary, you take care. Have a good one. All right.
Thank you, Terry.
You betcha. A little bit more as far as what the markets are doing. Over to Oppenheimer with Doug Klein we go. The market report brought to you by Schaefer and Beerline. It's Ram Spring commercial truck season going on at the dealer that's been around since 1852. Schaefer and Beerline and Frankenmuth knows trucks and vans, so you can buy with confidence from a dealer where family and service sells cars. They are the Great Lakes Bay Area's certified ag dealer, Schaefer and Beerline. And by Krejak's House Family Restaurant. Hey, give Dad a break. Why don't you take him out to dinner on Father's Day coming up at Krejak's house? Now, if you are going to be having a gathering, and it's not necessarily just for Dad, but for a lot of other things going on, because folks now are getting back into the swing of things for summer, and you've got to supply the food for an event, give them a call, 989-894-5531. Krejak's House, corner of Cass and Michigan on Bay City's south side. Incidentally, the word is on the south side of Bay City that St. Stan's is going to have their summer festival this year. So look forward to hearing more about that in the upcoming days. We say good morning to Doug Klein. How you doing, Doug?
I'm good. How you doing?
Hey, not too bad. What's going on now?
Well, it looks like we got a new high on the November soybean contract. Happened overnight. So overseas, some of those trillionaires over there are playing our markets for the better so far. As long as they don't turn against us, we're okay with that. And on the bright side, it's a good day to bale hay, as long as it doesn't rain. So get on out there and get some hay, right? You would like to do that, wouldn't you?
Oh, I'd love to do that. I'll bale it, but I don't want to pile it.
Well, here's your numbers. The July corn is 6.84 3/4, up 2 cents. December corn 6.05 3/4, up 14 1/4. The July soybeans 15.84 1/2, up 3/4 of a penny. November soybeans 14.54 1/2, up 19. July wheat is 6.90 1/2, up 2 3/4. And December wheat 7.05, up 5 1/4. Well, crude oil did not hit a new high today, 69.09, down 53 cents. Heating oil is 211.43, down 1/2 a penny. Gasoline 219 1/2, down 1 3/4 cents. Natural gas 306.90, that's down 2.8 cents. Canadian dollar, U.S. dollar gets you 120.68 at the border. That's down 11 ticks. The yen is at 109.26, down 23 ticks. The euro is at 121.94. That's up 29 ticks. The dollar's at 89.94, down 19 ticks. Gold's at 18.93.10, up $3.30. Silver's at 27.99 1/2. That's up 9.9 cents. And platinum's at 11.71.90. That's up $7.50.
Some of the most measurable, yes, it was mesurating. most memorable days on the farm, baling hay. And fortunately for me, I got to stack the back of the truck outside. So I was out in the breeze, got a nice tan. Those guys that were up in the hay mow, no way. And it was days like this that they were up in the mow.
Yeah, feeling those memories just lets you know how good you got it now.
Boy, you got that right.
Yeah.
Doug, take care, all righty?
Yep, you too.
Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. Oh, yes, those memories. When we return, Jerry Samolsky will be joining us.
Spring is here, and so are the savings during New Holland's Spring Drive Sales Event, going on now at Elms Equipment in McBain, Ithaca, and Beale City. It's a great time to get the New Holland equipment you need for a new season and work more productively than ever. Limited time 0% financing and cashback offers are available now on select New Holland tractors and hay and forage equipment. Stop by Elms Equipment in McBain, Ithaca, or Beale City today, because just like spring, Spring Drive savings won't last long.
Incidentally, Ellen's Equipment is they're looking for experienced technicians or folks that would like to be trained to be technicians working at Ellen's Equipment. Contact any of the Ellen's Equipment locations near you for more information. We say good morning to Jerry Samowski. Jerry, I had the trickle hose running all weekend long.
Yeah, I did too, Terry. I have a new dog, and our dog decided to like to eat my drip irrigation, so I got that repaired, and we're in good shape again. But it is water, and I hate to sound like a broken record, and we like to talk about some of the most important things you can be doing in your yard at any given time, and unfortunately, it's water. You'll get most return on your investment by spending some water and taking care of these plants and getting them going on the right leg.
All righty. Jerry, more tomorrow. You take care.
Yes, sir.
Okay. When we're returning, Eric Sawatsky will be joining us.
It's time to think about your pig. You know, the propane tank in your backyard that heats your home? Well, there's no better company to fill your pig than Forward Energy, covering 23 counties. Forward Energy is a family-owned and operated propane supplier that's been fueling area homes, farms, and businesses since 1925. Fill your pig this year. Visit forwardenergy.com to find out about new customer pricing and programs.
Go forward with Forward Energy.
Northeastern Paint, Home Decoration Center. We're more than a custom paint store. We have everything you need. From carpet to lighting, it's all here. With quality and satisfaction guaranteed. Northeastern Paint, Home Decoration Center.
Since 1959, count them, that's 62 years, Northeastern Paint Supply has been serving the Tri-Cities. We have the most knowledgeable staff in the area, offering you the highest quality products in the industry. Benjamin Moore Paints, Hunter Douglas Blinds, Quazell and Kitchener Lighting, Flooring from Flooring America, fireplace doors, gas logs, and custom-made rugs. It's all here under one roof. Northeastern Paint Supply, Saginaw and Bay City.
Northeastern Paint, Home Decoration Center.
Well, some of you are selling some equipment. Others are taking a look at selling some land, buying some land. Eric Sawatsky on the line with me right now. Why do capital gain rates matter when we're doing things like that, Eric?
Hi, Terry. Yeah, the impact of capital gains rates can be significant, especially if you're in a little higher income tax bracket. Currently, it's 15 or 20% tax rate that's being paid on those capital gains. In President Biden's proposed budget, they're talking about possibly doubling those numbers. So it really could have an impact. If we're selling land or we're selling even a stock on the stock market, basically we have to pay tax on the increase in value from when we purchased it and any improvements that were put into the land. That is all subject to capital gains rates. So if we're talking 20% now and possibly 40% down the road, that's a significant number. Then we're also talking equipment. When equipment is sold, it's a little bit different because if it's equipment being used in a business, you're probably taking depreciation on that every year as a deduction. When equipment's sold, then you have to take that depreciation into account. And that amount has to be recaptured first before we have capital gains, which means basically you'll pay tax at your regular income tax rate until the amount of depreciation you took is used up, and then the rest would be capital gain. So it can be a significant amount in some cases, and planning can be done in many cases to offset some of the capital gains by taking advantage of losses elsewhere and doing things like that. But it really is going to have a big impact if some of these budget proposals go through. We could be doubling the tax paid on some of these sales.
It sure could. Eric, for more information, how do we get a hold of you at Yo and Yo?
You can give me a call at 989-793-9830 or go to our website, www.yoandyo.com.
All righty. Have a good day, Eric. We'll talk to you again soon. All righty.
You too, Terry.
Have you been thinking about how much you need to save for retirement? Are you already retired and wonder how you can protect and grow your savings? What about the risk level of your current investments? If you have these or other questions about your financial future, now is the best time to get them answered. This is Kim Martin, financial advisor at Thumb Bank and Trust. No matter what life stage you're in, having the right retirement plan will give you peace of mind. At Thumb Bank and Trust, we have been helping clients meet their financial goals for over 125 years. Please give us a call at 866-862-3113 to schedule a conversation. I look forward to answering your questions and helping you build a plan that gives you peace of mind. Non-deposit investment products and services are not insured by FDIC or otherwise federally insured and are not a deposit or guarantee of the bank and may involve investment risk, including possible loss of principal. Thumb Bank and Trust, with locations in Pigeon, Caseville, Cass City, Bad Axe, and Bay City, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
For 33 years, the Bader family has been proud to be your local John Deere dealer. Starting in central Michigan and growing to 10 stores from southeast Michigan to the Bridge, we are happy to announce the transition to another great organization. Going forward, Hudson Inc. will continue to provide the John Deere experience you can rely on for parts, service, and sales. The Bader family thanks you for all your business and wishes Hudson Inc. the very best.
Along with me is our ag specialist, attorney at law, Jerry Reif. Jerry, you got a meeting coming up that we want to alert the people to, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of changes coming out of Washington and somewhat Lansing. So we got a seminar on next week, Thursday, June 17th. At Capoco here on Cabaret Trail in Saginaw, Capoco Credit Union, and they're 2 o'clock until 3 o'clock. We would answer your questions. We're going to be covering healthcare powers of attorney, very important, durable medical, financial powers of attorney, both, of course, in a will, and most importantly, special trusts that can be used to protect assets and provide income to beneficiaries. Especially in a farm setting, the legacy of land being transferred from generation to generation is so important, because without the land, you're not a cash crop farmer.
That's right. Now, how do we set up a chair for us here? What's the reservation number?
Saginaw, it's our office, 790-1461. That's, of course, 989 area code, 790-1461. Refer you to go onto the website, jerryreiflawyer.com. A lot of information on there. Of course, there's even more about different webinars and information that you can get. We'll get a lot of content on that webinar.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Jerry, thank you very much. You have a great day, okay?
You too. Thank you.
You betcha. Back at 12:30 with an update. Now we join radio stations all across the country by playing our national anthem.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
I'm Steve Kathan. The FDA has approved the first